Hi stream. So good morning everyone. I know everyone's very excited about today, but we've ran into an issue. Thank you Chico776 for the 3 months tier 1 as well. What a fucking 12 hours I've had. So we'll tell the full story later. But I get evacuated out of my home last night. I got back in, obviously, as you can see. So, bit of a later night than I wanted, due to the evacuation. And then, wake up this morning. Wake up. We'll tell that story later, because it's not the... yeah, I'm fine. So, I'm fine. Everyone in the house is fine. Everyone on the street is fine. Nice little evening outside with the neighbours. So, that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the legal issue we've been posed this morning. Which is that we're not allowed to co-stream the Soup Cup. It's exclusive to Soup. So, I mean, firstly, I would have appreciated finding out, you know, more than 10 minutes before the stream, more than 20 minutes before the stream. So, what we're gonna do, we're not gonna let that dampen our spirits, dampen our opportunity to watch good Overwatch. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to do it old school. Because the problem is, you guys can say you don't care, but if my Twitch strike gets the copyright, and then it gets taken down, and then I just have no income. So, what we're gonna do, exactly, Qbert knows, if the old heads will know, is what we'll do is we'll get a little timer on. YouTube's the same. We'll get a little timer on and we'll do it old school. Does anyone remember the old, I think Avast probably did it the most? The Overwatch League co-streams. Got ourselves a little timer, little setup. Obviously, it's going to be a bit scuffed because I unfortunately didn't get a lot of notice. But we can make it work. So, what we obviously need for this as well. Alright. Oh, don't look, guys. Don't look. Don't look. I'll change the thing. Out of pure respect. So, we need to set up commands and stuff to try and make this as accessible for people jumping in as possible.
어쨌든 뭐 현재 있는 그 선수들의 표정을 보실 수 있도록 저희가 실시간 경기 캠 화면을 뷰잉 파티 현장에서 준비할 예정이고 팀별로 응원석을
So there's a few things and so bear in mind I found out 10 minutes ago I've not had a chance to actually talk to I've not actually talked to anyone from Soup. I know I streamed the previous one. It's part of the reason I'm a little bit pissed off because I streamed all of the last cup. I streamed all of this cup so far. Why am I finding out 10 minutes before finals day that this was an issue all along, right? So, really not happy with how this has been handled. But I've not had a chance to Soup yet. Chance to talk to Soup yet. So, let me have that conversation and then we can go from there. Until then, we're going to have to run it old school. So the most important thing for us to try and figure out is the sync issue, right? So it's going to be a little bit tricky. Let me go to... If you guys load up this, talk to me about how we're looking sync-wise. It's going to be hard until we actually have a timer. But yeah, people were telling me to make a Soup account. Bear in mind, found out 10 minutes ago, and based on how Soup have handled this, I'm really not comfortable going directly with them. Or doing anything directly with them until I have a chance to talk to them, right? If, again, all these questions people are asking, I don't know. Like, bear in mind, the official first contact I had to find out through a friend of a friend of a friend who was asked to pass on a message to me. So my first official contact with anyone from Soup was 8:52, so 14 minutes ago. So I've not had a chance to discuss any of the details, anything like this. If they want me to stream on their platform, I'm open to that conversation. But we need to have that conversation more than 8 minutes before the stream goes live. So, until then, the main point, when I started this channel, all this time ago, was to watch some good Overwatch. So we're going to try and do that. So, I don't know if Juby's here yet, or if Panda is awake, or if they've got work this morning. But, we'll try and set up try and set up commands, because what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to join as we go through, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions. Seems pretty synced. Yeah, obviously this map pool, this map pool thing has been on screen for a while. I can, where am I going? Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. You're about 1 second ahead.
그럼 뭐라고 해야 될까요? 약간 컬러가 비슷하다라고 하면은 비슷할 수도 있지만 결국 어떤
It's just stream delay.
더 클러치적인 움직임을 많이 보여주는
So yeah, what the situation will be is you'll have to watch on SOOP, and I'll do the commentary here. So it's going to be a little bit scuffed, and I apologise for that, but obviously there's only so much I can make work in 10 minutes, guys. If I could do better, I would do better, I promise you. But in the meantime, we can still run the preds, we can still do everything else.
북미 자존심이 좀 구겨졌던 어제였거든요. 오늘은 북미의 자존심을 끌어올릴 필요가 있습니다. 다른 팀도
And I'll get the predictions up, because they can't take our gambling away.
우리 지역이 다른 지역에 비해서 어디까지 올라가냐.
Yeah, so where you can make a chat and YouTube then pin it. Yeah, bear with me, I'm doing it all live. So let me get the predictions up, because that can just sort of sit in the background. If you watch the YouTube, you can sync the streams yourself. That's a great shout, Cuba. Yeah, that's a great shout. So yeah, let me get all the links and everything. Guys, don't look. Okay, dude. I'm trying my best to avoid a legal issue. Okay, so let me get my Nightbot up.
한국 오버워치라고 하면은 전 세계에서 인정하는 1등 챔피언 지역이잖아요. 그런데 어제 좀 충격적인 패배가
commands, new command, SOOP. Yeah, let me add it to channel SOOP. Let me spell SOOP correctly out of respect. SOOP, and then thank you Gustav for the 2 months Prime. What do I want the command to be? Unable to stream footage correctly on Twitch due to copyright. Best way to watch is use the direct feed and my YouTube stream, which I can put a link to as well, to sync the audio. Okay? Alright, someone tell me. Does that feel concise enough? Obviously you guys had a bit more of the explanation, but does it feel like
I looked and now the Korean military is at my house.
Thank you, Psycho Shiro. Say hello to the Korean military for me. Yeah, if you're trying to watch on TV, I think you're going to have, like, unfortunately, a very bad time. Let me do the same on YouTube. Can I do that, and then can I pin it? Let me send a message on YouTube chat. Oh, it's too long.
Hello, my name is Ultraviolet, and I'm the flex support for Nightmare.
Let's listen to UV while we do this.
그렇다면 웨이 팀도 만나볼게요.
안녕하세요. 웨이에서 탱커하고 있는 페피라고 합니다.
네, 페피 선수도 반갑습니다. 자, 먼저 나이트메어 팀. 어제는 좀 다소 아쉬운 경기 결과로 끝나기는 했지만 그 과정 속에서 보석을 찾으셨을 것으로 생각이 되거든요.
Pin message.
자, 그 보석을 활용해서
Alright, so that should be pinned on YouTube. Hopefully everyone can see it.
어떤 공략들을 준비했을지 궁금한데요.
Now, despite the loss yesterday,
Can you show a slice of the game so it's easier to sync? I don't understand Korean. Wait, fuck, don't look at the thing, don't look at the thing. Yeah, it'll be, once we have the timers and the percentage on screen, it should be a lot easier, because then you can just, like, pause it to the actual second.
I think our first match was always going to be a little bit hard. we really needed this like LAN experience,
Okay.
and we're really grateful to
So yeah,
be here.
we'll look a little bit
And I
scuffed.
think,
Does this link work on
Now
PC?
that we've had the
Yeah, so
experience,
yeah,
we're really
if
happy
anyone normally watches me on
to us,
TV or on
what
their
we
phone,
actually do.
I've probably got really bad news. It's probably going to be really hard for you today. But anyone on PC, hopefully can get like a bit of a double stream setup. Suddenly I'm a YouTube viewer? Yeah, YouTube's going to go hard today, I think, actually. Alright, so we're doing it old school.
네, 자 오늘 공략들 기대가 됩니다. 자 그렇다면 반대로 웨이도 어제 마지막 세트에서 조금 아쉬운 모습을 보이기는 했지만 DPS 선수들도 계속해서 좋은 모습 보여주고 있거든요. 특히나 어제 탑드래곤 선수가 출전 첫 POTM을 받기도 하면서 뉴웨이에 대한 기대가
YouTube has such a delay and Soup can't be paused, so watching YouTube won't work. As in, because I'm behind.
나이트메어의 어떤 점을 공략하면 오늘 승리에 좀 가볍게 가져갈 수 있을까요?
어제 경기 나이트메어도 보고 저희 경기도 봤는데
Okay.
딜러
Let me see what I
싸움은
can
이제
do.
서로 재밌을 것 같다고 생각되는데 이제 쿠파와 밀가루의 차이가
Alright.
생기지 않을까 생각이 듭니다.
Because it's Soup that's ahead, I see what you mean, yeah.
그리고
Give me a sec, I can change for YouTube so like the latency is less. I don't know what technical that is. But I think I have to end the stream maybe for it. Alright. YouTube, you gotta go down for a second, okay?
오늘 또 4등을 하기는 살짝 아쉬울 거란 말이죠. 그렇다면 오늘 예상 스코어 한번 들어보는 시간 가져보도록 할게요.
Now, even if it's a third and fourth place in a match, the third and fourth place is vastly different. Nightmare is already North America's first number one, but Wei is trying to avoid desperately to get out of fourth place, just like they did in last season. But what do you think is the outcome score of this match?
I know Wei's a strong team, but I think yesterday T1 was a really strong team, and we were not playing to how we wanted. I think today, if we play to the potential, it'll be a 3-1 victory.
어제 웨이가 보여준 실력들이 엄청나게 좋다고 존경을 하지만요. T1에 진 이후로 승부욕이 타기 때문에 3대 0으로 이기려고 예상이 된다고 하십니다.
어제 이후로 우리 불 붙었다, 3대 0으로 이기겠다라고 말씀 들어봤는데요. 그렇다면 웨이 팀은 예상 스코어 뭘로 예상하실까요?
저희가 지금 코리아도 4등, 아시아도 4등이거든요. 숲컵까지 4등하면 이제
Alright, let me know. That should hopefully reduce the latency on
오늘은
YouTube.
진짜 무조건 일 것 같아서 3대 1이
And
되든 3대
then-
0이 되든 3대 2가 되든
Ooh.
예상 스코어 상관없이 우리는 무조건 승리로 마무리 짓겠다라고 말씀 들어봤습니다. 자 오늘 좀 날씨가 굉장히 추운데요.
And then let me
하지만
repin this message on
경기의 열기는
YouTube.
굉장히 뜨겁죠. 자, 그렇다면 팬분들에게도 이 열기를 나눠드릴게요. 팬분들께도 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
So despite the weather going cold, the match between the two is filled with
And
anticipation.
use
heat.
my YouTube
Would you like to share some of the words for the fans sitting down on the venue?
audio.
Just support Nightmare and look forward to an exciting match.
Send pin.
나이트메어를 서포트해줘서 너무 감사합니다.
How come OC gets to co-stream it?
네,
Don't know. I guess she's just happy to risk for copyright strike, but unfortunately, you know, Twitch is a significant part of my income, as you can imagine. So if my Twitch stream gets taken down, then the whole thing falls apart, unfortunately.
양팀 대표분들과 인터뷰 진행해보는데요. 경기 결과도 궁금해지죠. 그렇다면 오늘 맵 세트 확인해 보시죠.
웨이는 진짜 4웨이 그거 피해야 돼요 무조건.
그죠. 징크스 되면 안 돼요.
네. 자, 양 팀이 맞붙는 첫 번째
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, maybe she just doesn't know as well, because like, I found out through one of the other co-streamers, and then I didn't actually get a chance. I didn't get a chance to talk to anyone until like I actually I asked to basically to say what's going on. If my Twitch gets banned, I get stream on Soup. Supex, pound a Pepsi. You won't. I'm not pounding it. I'm pacing myself. It's a long stream today.
거기다 이게 아까 살짝 말씀을 드렸지만 상성상 웨이가
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what all you guys are saying. I think you all have reasonable points, reasonable questions. But again, the games are starting, so I'm just interested. I'm interested in doing the best job we can in the time frame with the Overwatch.
근데 나이트메어의 어제 경기 내용이 그거랑 비슷했거든요. 그러면 아마 자신감 갖고 할 수 있을
Alright.
것 같은데.
Ilios is the first map.
비슷하지 않을까 싶어요.
그러니까 상성에 대한 부분을
You want me to cast it? Should I do it can be a radio broadcast as well, right? So all you have to do. I don't know, Veli. I don't know what the rules are. I like I said, I've not actually spoken to Soup properly yet. I'll have a conversation with them afterwards, and I'll see what's possible.
옛날부터
I mean, SOOP has VODs, right? So I guess, like, worst case, there can be, you can kind of do the same thing with the VODs.
확실하게 네.
근데 특히나 밀가루 선수 같은 게 또 레킹볼도 가능하다 보니까 좀
But
다른
I've
수 있을 것 같고.
figured that all out after the broadcast when I can actually sit down and have a conversation.
중요할 것 같아요. 결국에는 이게 어드미랄 선수가
Alright, so, let me update the stream title.
힐러 쪽을 주로 하는
I need to make this
선수들인데
SOOP command
키리코나 키리코
very
같은 것들
prominent.
중에는 팀들이 쓸 수밖에 없거든요.
We're gonna watch Nightmare vs. Way.
다양한
Or we're gonna listen to
가능합니다.
Nightmare vs. Way, potentially.
특히나 뒷라인
Cup.
선수 같은 경우는 리그에서 워낙
Finals.
펼쳤던 선수들이고
아 그렇죠.
이수민만
Nightmare vs. Way.
있는 선수들이기 때문에
Exclamation mark.
이것도 좀 봐야
SOOP.
되겠습니다.
Let's throw some square brackets around that out of respect.
좀 빠르게 몰아내느냐. 그러니까 그 말은 그러니까 두 팀 다 좀 진입하는 탱커를 많이 기용을 하는 팀들이다 보니까 스킬샷 한 방 한 방이 되게 중요해요.
82 대 18. 승부의 측이 이렇게
Alright.
나옵니다. 웨이 쪽에 많은 분들이 손을 들으셨고요. 나이트면은 18%.
The YouTube link takes me to the stream that's ended. Oh, hold on. Let me...
어제처럼 경기가 전개가 된다면 진짜 이대로 갈 수 있습니다. 그래서 나이트메어가 하루 사이에 좀 피드백을 했을 거라는 생각이 들기 때문에
There we
달라진
go.
모습을
Try now.
보여주고 싶지 않을까 싶어요.
특히나 이제 북미 지역에
Does that link work for people?
조금 조금씩
We test
올라오는
it.
모습을 보이긴 했었어요.
That link work for
작년에.
people?
네.
Oh, I'm listening to myself.
할 줄은 몰랐는데 이게 대단한
Thank you, Jonas, for the Prime. Thank you for the 12 months. Welcome back.
잠재력이 분명히 있다라는 거거든요.
네.
Honestly, I thought we would maybe be in a situation where the scuff streams were behind us and I was making progress as a user. But they can't dampen our spirits.
된다는 생각으로 보여요.
네. 나이트메어는 루시우 쪽을 밴해줬습니다.
근데 사실 웨이 입장에서는 루시우벤이 그렇게 막 엄청 치명적이거나 그렇게 큰 밴을 당한 건 아니거든요.
오히려 좀 본인들의 발목을 잡을 수 있지 않나라는 생각도 들거든요.
We turn the game sound off of the stream.
괜찮게 하니까.
Preds. The Preds are open. Maybe they're not working, but the Preds are open. Well, for a little bit.
자, 나이트메어와 웨이와 나이트메어가
Yeah, I don't know why it's not popped up on... Oh, wait, I know why it's not popped up on screen. Because I'm bloody hiding it, aren't I? My giant fucking webcam. Thank you, Chrome Song. Hold on. There we go. My giant fucking webcam's in the way. Alright. We can try and tweak things as we go around. Obviously, some of this is going to be live figuring out on the fly, okay? So, check admin chat, Juby. Check admin chat.
2025 숲컵 파이널 데이즈.
So, obviously, thank you, Mike SV. Thank you very much. So, yeah, obviously a lot of people are going to join the stream as we're going along, and we're all going to run into the same issue that you all have run into now. So, be patient with people, explain it to them, we'll try and tweak it as we go along if we can find a better solution. Until then, let's focus on the Overwatch for a map and see what goes on. Gonna be Ilios for the first map, presumably the choice of Way. Hazard has been banned, Lucio banned on the other side, and Nightmare gonna throw down one more time to try and play.
실제로
Let me
가운데 있는
tweak this a little bit.
쪽 지점을 에이드가 프리하게 먹었기 때문에
See the full
저기
time.
밀어내는
There we
점프가 필요하고
그리고 리살이 지금 2층에 딜라인이랑 같이 있는
Going to throw down one more time, dive mirror against a Korean team, but this time not against Donghack, not against Proud, against Milgaru. We saw Virtus.pro dismantle them, but Lethal was going to get caught, drop it down to the low ground, punish. Kufa's going to find a trade on the alternative hit scan as well. Nade comes through onto Milgaru, he's awfully low. Mac is desperately trying to pocket him up as Admiral's going to swing on him, but now Admiral and UV, they're committing to point. Nade goes out, doesn't hit them, a miss by Mac of a whip shot though. Doesn't connect from Lee Min either, and now the backline are in a very risky position here for Nightmare, but they have hit the sleep on Lee Min. Can they find the trade kill? But they can't really, because there's a Winston all over their head. Milgaru playing on the ledge, not making any mistakes though, and they will clean this fight up, flip the point right back over, and start their progress.
올라갈 때까지 드리블이 안 됐을 건데 생각보다 너무 많이 버텨가지고 좀 유지가 됐던 상황이었고요.
금방 뺏어냈죠.
네.
11%에서 끊어내고 있는 웨이였고요.
Double support ult coming back for Nightmare. Admiral does have this rally slightly sooner, but Ilios, well, Lighthouse, sorry, can be very difficult to get rally value with. Eventually, you maybe make a drop down to point, or just use it as a peel ult. Mac is actually playing from the low ground now. will pivot back into this mega room. Aid has been forced to slide off. Kufa has this nano boost. Tenta Nano comes out onto Aid. He's trying to swing forward, but he's got no rail. He does run into Lethal, though. Lethal is all alone. The coach gun will slow him down. Lethal now has a pretty big angle, and Zera's connected for Pulse Bomb on point. He's traded onto top. Dragon Force for recall, taking care of that one. They trade the initial nanos, and now Milgaru, he's going for the primal, but Admiral got UV all tucked away safely. Might even try and be able to get a late kill onto Milgaru here, but he does have a double jump at the end of it. We'll be able to take him, get him out of there.
이렇게 되면은 맞집결 상황으로 견디는 사이에 결국 커퍼의 원시의 분노로 턴을 길게 끌고 거기서부터도 마무리가 안 되면 일단 바까지 이어갈 수도 있거든요.
네, 에이드가 하긴 해야 되는데.
Sorry. Alright, I'm trying to catch up.
이게 말씀드린 대로 원시도 곧 차올라서.
Now, focusing point, Admiral's awfully low. UV can box him up. Kufa's pop a primal in the back. That is force for Rally. Bash comes through. Kufa's trying to get a bit of separation onto the Brig. He's taking this Brig for a journey, actually. Lee Soo-min on a roller coaster. Eight's going to pop the overclock to try and help him out, but Kufa's able to mark that as well, and Kufa's keeping his backline so well contained, but Milgaru's found a timing to jump. They've connected the shot as well. That's a two-player advantage as Wayne move over to point, and Nightmare, they might really have to play for time here. Lethal goes down before getting a chance to use that Bob. Admiral and Zero are going to stall it out as best they can. Kufa's going to die on point. Admiral's going to die on point. Zero will be the last one to fall on point, get whatever capture percentage they can, and the retake will be Nightmare's to attempt next. They're going to have to have the Bob with which to do it, so expect Lethal's Bob to go very much towards point to force that. Trying to get in position, we'll walk into top dragon. Nano's going to be available soon for Mako. UV's not far behind. They're trying to clear out this Sojin. Bob comes through now. Didn't see where the Bob went, actually. Kufa's going to dive in. Safe on high ground, though. Trying to force the objective now a little bit. Zera is there. Bob is actually on the outside. Nano wants Lee Soo-min to anchor the point as well. So Zera and Kufa, they should have to back jump. UV's going to have a Nano of his own here. So Kufa has an open timing to go with this. All eyes to Kufa as he tries to connect something with this Nano. He was getting slept all day long. A nade onto Aid. Forces the sleep back. Kufa's in a lot of trouble. Gets for Nano just in time. He's going to be zapping everyone in that room. Zera's forcing the point at the same time. Needs a little bit of help, but Kufa can't find any kills. Milgaru has been slept for now, but will wake up angry. Primal in his hands. He is all over UV. Juggle onto the high ground. Good defensive nade from UV. He's on all the rooftops. UV needs more help, though. Milgaru eventually confirmed the kill, but Lethal's found 2 kills on point during this. Rallies are going to be traded as well. Lee Soo-min with the whip shot perk takes him down. And UV there just separated. Now it's just Kufa left on point. He has the primal. He can extend it for a while. UV has gone Moira. Just trying to get back to spawn quickly. Then onto Kiri. Wants to TP forward. Kufa can get one more touch. Maybe no. Slightly mismanages it. Can't extend it. It was maybe the outside of outside chances there. Bit more competitive from Nightmare.
네, 나이트메어가 실제로 잘했어요. 경기 내용을 돌파봤을 때는 나쁘지 않았는데 조금 느려요. 웨이가 조금 더 김이 나고 그리고 나이트메어한테 한 턴 더 있으면 괜찮겠다 싶을 만한 타이밍 때 데스가 나와서
I think maybe mute SOOP audio, as in do this basically, so I can still hear it, you guys can't hear it, and then you can use the SOOP audio. So then you get the game audio and the Korean casters from them, and then you just get my audio. Is that better? Okay. Alright. Sweet. It means sub sounds are going to be disabled as well, but I'll still hear them in my ears, but you guys won't hear them, so I'll still keep an eye on it. Alright. We'll lock back in for well. Again, appreciate the feedback, guys. We'll figure out the best version of this solution as we go through. Tracer's going to be fighting out on coast, and Milgaru's going to get immediately involved in that, so Zera has to use his recall, has to back it up to Admiral's position. More space right now for Wei as they branch out onto point. Bubble at the choke, but UV still has this high ground position, looking for a potential nade. Kufa's going to dive in, roll underneath, Aid with a right click. He's taken so much damage. Good nade from UV, and now that actually turns for a kill onto Lee Soo-min. Nade was not marked by Milgaru, and UV takes the opening. Now they come back to try and stabilize here, but they've lost it. They still have that advantage. Lethal's going to swing through left-hand side. Little dink onto Maka. Tries to get this Winston out of position. Nade has been avoided. Bubble comes through. Good nade from UV again. It's found another target, and Zera's clearing that one out. They've not got control of point right now, Nightmare, but they're finding good nade value. Kufa is all over the Ana. Tracer recall has been forced. Now they can branch out onto point. Maka is low if Zera can follow up on that one, but he's got eyes on the Tracer instead. Zera has to back it up. Oh, pardon me, sorry. They did flip a point here, and Milgaro is 1 HP. They back it out. Nano available for Kufra as he comes back in. Sleep comes through, saves Lee Soo-min's life for now, but they kill Aid instead. Kufra's going to wake up, get all over this Ana. Defensive Nano comes through. Maka's got one on himself as well. Lee Soo-min is nanoed, and he is in there. Pulse Bomb's going to connect, and just as it starts to look like it's going Nightmare's way, all of a sudden they turn it back. Kufra still has for Primal if they really want to extend this, but might just save it for the retake, honestly. No, he's going to commit it. He's going in. Needs to try and find values with this, or at least force an ultimate. He's on the backline right now. Wow, Zero keeps point anchored, but Kufra has to get out. Doesn't find the primal value he wanted there. Saw the opportunity to clutch. Way back in control. Rally available for Lee Soo-min. Aid with the high noon as well. Admiral doesn't quite have his rally yet. It's a difficult retake for Nightmare. Needs to rely a little bit more on their nade value and just play a bit of a slower fight. Milgaro will bubble at choke. Kufra actually, yeah, nade value again. Yuvi will get that kill himself. Yuvi is doing so much on this well. Now we're going to try and pocket lethal through as this tracer pressure comes in. Sleep onto UV has killed Lee Soo-min as well. We'll be happy with that one. No chance to use that rally. Now they're coming on point. Way eventually force the kill onto UV, but it costs him everything. So Nightmare back in control of point. Didn't even to use that rally. And once again, UV is carrying. Rally still available for Admiral into the next fight. Lee Soo-min has one for the retake. But this time, Nightmare get the privilege, the luxury of starting with the high ground position. Kufra's going to be there as Milgaro comes to try and clear him out. Aid's trying to walk through this right-hand room, but UV has been camping this with nades quite aggressively. UV is on the low ground now, so it's harder for him to mark this side of the map Aid is playing on. Top Dragon, oh, the whip shot kills Zeri. He dies. The nade on choke is huge from Maka. Admiral manages to find one trade, but the pulse bomb shuts down that rally before it does any more damage. Lethal will swing onto point, but hopelessly outnumbered. And another quick retake for Wei, and this has been a very back and forth well. High noon available for Aid. Maka's going to have a nano, slightly quicker than UV, but they both have it around the same time. Primals will be involved, so a big ult fight here. And really, Nightmare, they only have one crack at it. Zero's going to meet the Tracer on the right-hand side, run into Top Dragon. Does have Pulse Bomb advantage soon. Bubble has been used by Milgaro. They will break this bubble. Milgaro has for Primal, though, to keep going. Lethal's going to drop the High Noon. Just stop Milgaro getting any disruption with that. Milgaro really wants to get the last little boot, but can't force anyone off the high ground. Comes in for one more swing, but again, Lethal doesn't fall down. Maka's walked forward, goes for the nade, misses the nade. Defensive Nano comes out, and the high noon, and the sleep. Kufra's in big trouble. Execution for that one. No chance to use for Primal. Perfect sleep, but Lethal's not done yet. He's taken down Top Dragon. He's swinging point. Cast Jewel across the well. Both of them will back up. Nightmare getting themselves on point, trying to force the objective. Lee Soo-min trying to keep that one contested. Zero lands the pulse bomb, nade at the choke. Lee Soo-min hit with that one. Oh, the whip shot again. Lee Soo-min kills Zero. The whip shot perk doing so much. Another sleep from Maka. They're all so low. Kufra's back with a primal. He's killed one. Milgaro is so low. Maka's desperately trying to keep him alive. Into the well he goes. Milgaro reset. They know they've only got one more. Nightmare have flipped the point, and they are on the verge right now, turning this round in their favour. They don't have any ults for it, but neither do Wei, really. Admiral's going to get the rally slightly quicker than Lee Soo-min. They're holding forward to Nightmare. They want to make this touch hard. Obviously, Top Dragon can play for that touch, but if he does that, he's going to be essentially out of a fight. Kufra with a bubble at choke, zapping everyone forward. Lee Soo-min takes a decent bit of damage. Nightmare will back it up. Milgaro comes through. Nade catches Admiral and Kufra and UV. Everyone is low. Kufra's trying to body block for his Ana. Pushing in. Defensive nade from UV. Heals himself up. Milgaro's getting forced back. Top Dragon with a pulse bomb. Lethal was trying to swing on point, but Lee Soo-min and Top Dragon, they've dealt with that threat. Kufra's going to go in. Rally push from Admiral. The pulse bomb on his back. He goes down. Top Dragon's killed the backline. And they're going to find a way through here. Wei find the clutches when they need it. The whip shot from Lee Soo-min. The pulse bomb from Top Dragon. And Nightmare are going to fall on well. Wei will take the first map. What does the whip shot perk do? It's basically if you whip someone and it boops them into a wall, they take extra damage. I can't remember the extra damage. I can look at. Let me check my notes. But it's like, oh yeah, dealing 50 extra damage from if you hit, like, similar to, you know how, like, Doomfist Punch does extra if you punch someone into the wall? Basically the same with Whip Shot. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Sans. Thank you, C Scorpion Z, as well. Appreciate the prime. What are we saying? Did you read it off a piece of paper? Yeah, I did. How else am I gonna know the perks, guys? Come on, there's so many perks to remember. The documents? Exactly. Hold on, let me eat my sandwich. What are people saying? Don't worry about it, Panda. I think it'll be fine. We'll just run it scuffed. Bacon this morning. I did not say, I'm just trying to remember them. Yeah, exactly, Rally. Am I uploading VODs from this? I don't even know. Yeah, hold on. Let me type to you an admin, GB. The mainstream is ahead. Hold on, let me I guess I need to not show you this for a second. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find a slightly more optimal solution. Actually, I need the stream link on, ironically. Let's see. I can get like a few seconds ahead. Because let me figure it out. I need to be further ahead. Is that right? Yeah? Okay. Right, hold on. If I just refresh, it should work. But let me do that. Hold on. Let me not accidentally leak it. Okay, yeah. Alright. Okay, that's okay then. How to mean answer sickness? It just works. Wait, don't look chat. I'm wondering if, you know, there's like the UK version of the SOOP thing as well. What, how did I sit in stream chat? Hold on. Where am I looking? Stream chat? Okay, I see. So, let me see. Peppy is in, by the way. Okay, okay, ready that. Ready that. Ready that. I think the UK one might be slightly further ahead. So then if I do... that. That one I want. Okay. Alright, I think... Hold on, I'm having to dick around with all the scenes here. I know you guys can't see anything, but just, hopefully my beautiful face is enough for you guys. Alright, I don't know if I got it lined up exactly, but... Okay, maybe this is slightly better. Oh, wait. Where's it gone? I think we're going to Esperanza. Not that. That? Okay. Oh! Okay. So maybe this has fixed some of the sync issues, or like I should be slightly further ahead now. Way better, only like half a second now. Okay, we're getting there. Sorry, Adidas. And a bacon sandwich this morning. What's a country you'd never expect a viewer from? Yeah, actually, LeBron with the Vatican City. I'd never expect a viewer from the Vatican City. I know the Pope is a big Overwatch guy, but I'd still be surprised if he's tuning in this early. The Pope prefers Uber's casting? Fuck. I can't even argue with His Holiness. Did I ever tell you I saw the Pope one time? I went to Italy, family vacation when I was a kid, and we were in Rome. And we were in Rome over Easter, so I guess it would have been around this time of year. We went to the Pope was, and I guess a lot of the church were doing a procession through the streets. So went there, we all waited, and then I thought we would be like, you know, the Pope would be, you know, in the distance, but he was like 20 feet away from the Pope. That's the closest I've ever been to the Pope. Have I seen the Conclave? No, I've had it recommended to me, though, so it's on the, like, to watch list. You could have eaten him to absorb his powers. Is that how it works? I mean, I didn't eat him out of respect because it was Easter. Alright. Alright, we can see the time. Hopefully, that feels kind of okay for people. Watch it, best film of 2024? Alright. You've convinced me. 20 Feet from the Pope is a good band name. And now introducing 20 Feet from the Pope. With their new hit single, Conan the Clave. Alright, I wasn't really paying attention to any of her bands and stuff, so let's do a little catch-up. We are on Circuit Royale. There's going to be a Zen band from Nightmare, a Genji band from Wei. So what we're going to see is Nightmare playing a Ram version, Juno, Lucio, double sort of poke DPS in Sojourn and Pharah. Wei, on the other hand, actually have they've gone back into Spawn right now, so once they saw this comp from Nightmare, they've changed it. They're going to be running Sojourn Pharah as well as the Ram, but they're going Juno Brig instead of Juno Lucio, so very similar compositions, and we'll get a bit of a Ram throwdown here. Sorry, I looked away for a second, and Ada's found an opening pick. That's going to crack it open. Admiral's trying to mark this left-hand side, but he's going to be made short work of by Ada as well. It's a die-on-point angle for Nightmare. And they'll take the full reset. Ada with the opening picks to crack it open. Really, Nightmare, I almost feel like their composition, if they want to run the Juno Lucio version, would work a little bit better with the... a May or something, so they can really force a lot of these brawlier advantages. They're going to make some swaps now. Nightmare going over to Ana, Juno. This will allow them to actually take a little bit of a slower fight. They can use this nade and this sleep to interrupt the Ram trade on the front. Obviously, still a lot of this is going to be about the DPS picks, DPS opportunities, as it will still be a relatively slow and pokey exchange, even with the Junos. Ram's going to be trading in the little room right now. Zero's going to drop to try and involve himself in that one. Rocket's coming down the channel. We see a wide swing from Aid right now. Zero has to be careful. Kufa's taking so much damage in main. Has to pop that form right now. Yuvi's going to get forced back too. All of Nightmare on life support right now. They're all DPing and Peppy finds the first pick. Now player advantage. They need a kill quickly, Nightmare. They've healed themselves up, but Kufa needs so much help on point. He's getting overwhelmed right now, trying to play that shield. Another slow top dragon dives on him for the kill. Yuvi's going to get a little tap, but that was Admiral actually. Either way, Leesville gets a trade, but it's too little too late. And a very quick first point here for Wei. Nano is obviously going to be very powerful in this ult trade. The ability to throw it onto the Ram or even into the Pharah combo with Barrage gives them a lot of options. In general, you look at all the ults on both sides of the fence here. Really powerful. They all combo quite nicely. So expect a pretty big 10 ult throwdown here when they get it. But the problem for Nightmare is they have to play it slow initially because they don't quite have a few of their ults to throw into this big trade. So if the trade starts too quickly, they're going to find themselves a day late and $1 short. A trying to swing aggressively now, peeking onto Lethal. Has that rail, misses it onto the Pharah actually. Now Kufa's going to pressure him back. Ada's going to have to DP. Rally comes through. Barrage from the top right from Top Dragon. Finds nothing, but Kufa actually shuts down Lee Soo-min. Raid trade will come in now. Admiral's thrown it, but Top Dragon is flying forward. They've lost their backline here, Nightmare. They still have DPS helps and the Annihilation, but they need the clutch. Here's the Barrage, immediately shut down from Zera. Kufa still has the Annihilation. He's going to die on point. They're going to play for a retake, but this is going to be such a dicey retake. Did get some trades. Lee Soo-min coming back on the Kiriko. And yeah, they can't even get the touch. It's so dicey, it doesn't even exist. And that is a quick second point for Wei as well. And Nightmare really needs to try and find some stabilization. Lethal with an early overclock takes Top Dragon down immediately. Ada's going to die as well. Nice little overclock from Lethal, connects the shots. And they will be able to push forward to a bit of a spawn hold here, or at least hold this very forward choke. Desperate for time off the clock at this point, Nightmare. 4.5 minutes is a long, long time. Maka needs to be careful here. Take it down low. And Kufa's actually pushed with the Annihilation. They're up in the tempo here, Nightmare. They're pushing into the spawn. Peppy is isolated and low. Slow comes around. He's 1 HP. Finish for kill. Kufa, finish for kill. He's going to get walled off now. Top Dragon's made the May swap for third point. But Kufa can turn that kill eventually. And they'll re-establish at the choke. But Nightmare have spent 2 ultimates in those 2 fights. Won both of them. But they've burnt through these ults very quickly. Now Ada's going to try and swing left with this rail. Admiral is looking at it. Admiral back on the Lucio, worth noting as well. Top Dragon looking for this May wall coming around so they can force this trade. Needs Zero and Lethal to swing aggressively when this happens. Make Top Dragon's life hard. They force his ice block already. But Zero, the torpedoes, they take him down. Player advantage. Now UV is getting pressured out as well. Maka is just pushing him back. Wei are going to claim all of the space. Kufa is still stuck behind him here, so Nightmare are going to be kind of forced to commit to this fight maybe if Kufa can't get out. He's had to use his form. They've got their Sojourn up top. Nano comes through into Kufa to keep this fight going. Looking for the brick. Can't quite find the final punch. Mike Tyson not landing it. Now Kufa will get beamed down by Peppy, and this is going all sorts of wrong for Nightmare. Top Dragon has the Blizzard for this next fight. Aid has the Overclock Annihilation. Oh, they just have everything, don't they? Wait, it's another 5-bank. All of a sudden, this is starting to look very ropey for Nightmare very quickly. The Annihilation has been popped. It has killed Lethal, so Lethal's not going to get to that Overclock. They need Zero to clutch with Barrage. They need Admiral to get to this beat. They need time, Nightmare, but the push is coming. The Blizzard, the Ray, everything. Kufa will be deleted. Aid has been booped off the map. Zero sent him down there, but is it enough? Zero has the Barrage. He's coming on point. He's so low. He kills Peppy. They get the touch, but there's a rally on point. It's not enough. Don't quite get to their ultimates, and Way complete the snowball. 2 minutes 49 on the clock. Oh, and Nightmare potentially looking like their Circuit Royale is a choice they're going to regret pretty heavily. Look again at that opening pick. Top Dragon lands a rocket. Aid's going to swing left at the same time. They clear Zero out in this position, and then obviously very hard for Admiral to hold that position by himself. Then we get this big ult trade. Rays will be traded. I thought they were winning this fight, but Top Dragon manages to get over. They trade for backline. One thing that's worth noting, we talked about the Ana and the Ana's ability to interrupt some of these Remarcher trades with sleep, with nade, everything like this. What's also true is compared to the Juno, the Ana is just squishier. So while you've got a lot of win conditions, you've got a lot of opportunities to turn the fight in your favour, you're also just a bit more vulnerable, as is the nature of Ana a lot of the time. UV lining up on the Juno Brig to start this one. I don't know about the Brig and the Ram Mirror. I feel like the Brig becomes, it's like a tricky hero to play, because you want to be involved in the brawl, you want to be helping your Ramatra, but when there's a Mei to walk into, when there's a Ram as well, all of a sudden your life is just at a premium half the time. We're going to start on the main this time for first point, not the Pharah. Zero's going to keep running the Pharah. So they need to try and play for their DPS angles. Let Zero and Lethal work the game. Kufa has to probably save a few more of his cooldowns to be ready for these wall timings from Way. Speedring around the first corner, shield in front of Aid. He'll step around that one. Zero's going to peek through the door on the left. Kufa's gone quite aggressively, taking a lot of space, and they've all been forced back. Lots of Pharah rockets, doing a lot of damage. Lethal's now got the high ground, can't find the shot to finish off Top Dragon. He can, second time of asking. Now player advantage, he wants to find Aid as well. Lethal's going for the shot, doesn't finish the kill, but now Lethal has this wide swing. He's got him on the ropes, and Way are just desperately trying to stabilize. Free push for Nightmare, and Way will have to take a fight on this final corner. Exactly what you want to see. Kufa makes some kind of aggressive move, takes a lot of attention. Zero and Lethal get a very powerful swing at the same time. Aid's going to try and swing back Dink onto Zero, but doesn't confirm a kill. Kufa is now trading with a Ramatra inside. Wait, where is Peppy going? Are you okay, Peppy? Aid has found a trade, but a Ramatra disadvantage is not going to be worth that at all. Peppy on a misadventure into the enemy backline. Where was he going? That'll be first point for Nightmare. Disaster from Peppy. And Nightmare get the first point. Maybe they're not out of it yet. Worth noting, Top Dragon has made his way back onto Pharah, of course, is behind the barrage as well. Aid taking a little look down the left-hand side, but sees nothing there. Kufa has walked up already. UV has the Ray. Maka has it to match, but it's an early barrage from Zero. Takes down Lee Soo-min. Will get traded for it, but he's done so much damage to Peppy. He has the Annihilation. The Ray has been used by Maka. Much later Ray by UV, but Lethal dies as they use it. Admiral dies in the Ray. They tried to play for the later Ray, but it was too late in the end. Annihilation from Peppy will finish the job, and they'll stabilize here. Way did have to invest a lot for it. Even though it was 2 for 2, the Annihilation and the Ray, two of the more powerful ults in this type of mirror. Now Annihilation advantage for Kufa. Nightmare have a pretty decent attempt at this where they can start to take a bit of space with the overclock, keep pushing with the Annihilation once they're in a more meaningful position. All they need to do, care the enemy overclock, care the enemy barrage as they go through. These are the ults that can really ruin their day. Also, they've got to walk up this difficult slope, which, if anything, is really just going to make the Way DPS ults a lot easier to execute. You see Aid looking for it on the cross as well. He wants no squishies to commit to the rotation. And he will be more than happy to take his shots. Thank you, Waphobos, for the 14 months as well. Welcome back. Walking up to the choke. Got a bit of space now. Overclock used by Lethal. Looking for a barrage in his face. Top Dragon goes flying into him. Double DPS ult gets the job done. No chance for Kufa to even use that Annihilation. Looking for a late trade if he can. They found one on Tamaka. Admiral's still out there swinging. They'll catch the Brig as well. So they get a couple of trades that'll make their next walk up a bit easier. Kufa and Admiral should be on the same wave as well. They can get this one going as soon as possible because now Wei's bank is empty. Completely empty. This is the big opening for Nightmare. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. So while they got plenty of time, Wei have a big time bank, so they want to get a move on here still. This is their big opening. This is the important fight for Nightmare to convert. Aid's going to get booped in a little bit. Rally's going to start the fight from Admiral. Walking forward still. Has another bash in 1 second. Looking for it. It's a disengaged. Peppy now has no cooldowns left. They're going to keep walking. Here comes Kufa. Lee Soo-min is boot back in. Nice little boot by Zera. Sets that kill up for him. Now the Annihilation is the finisher. They have to concede all the space. 3 kills. They're even looking for a late one here. They force the format of Peppy. That should be second point, I think, for Nightmare. Cards still got a little bit of way to go, but they can hold forward. They want to make it work, actually. They're going to run for it. They have the Ray to throw into this. So the Ray comes through. Kufa's on a big angle. They're trying to disengage. Where is Kufa? Kufa's just in the backline right now as the Ray trade comes out on point. Zera takes Maka out of the sky. Zera takes the entire backline out of the sky. Or out from the sky. And now it should just be easy cleanup. Nothing Peppy can do about this. Second point will be going the way of Nightmare as well. Well-handled Ray trade. Little bit of an interesting starting position from Kufa. He actually started behind the entire Wei team. Obviously, Wei were forced to go to point, so Kufa got a pretty big slow and punch value coming in from the back. Zera converts for 2 important kills onto the supports as they are forced into a suboptimal position. And Nightmare keep moving it forward. Obviously, they used some of their big ults to convert that second point, so now they've kind of just got to rely on the barrage, the overclock. Advantage for Wei. They want to try and take a fight early here, Wei. Try and get 2 fights out of third point, which is particularly tricky on Circuit Royale. You see Zera marking this right-hand side. Now runs into the Pharah. Top Dragon peeks it. Both barrage, but Zera's barrage is bigger. And now Top Dragon sent to the respawn queue. Nightmare take all the space. Wei are desperately trying to reset. Nightmare on the front foot. Overclock available from Aid and from Lethal, but the Annihilation advantage for Peppy should be the defining factor here. Oh, Aid's found Zera on the high ground. Pop the overclock. Zera's trying to survive. He's trying to juke it. He can't. He will go down. Annihilation used on point. And Nightmare, they've not used everything here, so Nightmare playing for the ult economy. Lethal's going to find 2 trades, actually, as they walk in. 3 trades. He's popped the overclock. Lethal thinks he's doing it. He's got to kill everyone, though. He's all by himself. Juno's peeking in. One more rail. Connects it onto Maka. Hasn't bought him enough space to live. He wants the kill onto Maka. He misses the rail, though. Oh, he's 1 HP. Maka gets away with it. Wei just about stabilised. Lethal saw the opportunity. Never one to back away from a clutch. But he doesn't find it. Now Nightmare going to have to rely on their support ults instead. They've got Rally and nearly Ray. Wei slightly behind on those support ults, but they can get it in time. Expect Kufa to get this Annihilation very soon in the fight, and after the support ult trade comes, Kufa can pop that Annihilation and maybe just tip the fight over the edge. Wei, on the other hand, Aid here. He's going to have to try and play aggressively, play for a flank. He needs to find a kill. It's actually a Pharah Brig coming close, so Aid's going to be forced back, but he has a full rail, so difficult peek for Zera. He takes a body shot there. Kufa's trying to make some money moves into the back onto Top Dragon. Annihilation pops as well. He actually wants to start the fight. Ray's coming through as well. Lee Soo-min pops for Rally. Maka now has the Ray. Nightmare have used everything. The Annihilation gets nothing. Where's that Ray going? Peppy is stuck behind. He's going to get bashed. They need to kill Peppy. Where is Peppy going in these fights? Does he know which colour he is? Does he know what team he's playing for? They kill Peppy for free, and they waste their Ray. Zera's going to kill Aid on the high ground. It's falling apart for Wei. It's wide open for Nightmare. Body shot onto Top Dragon. He's low. Another hit shot onto Maka. He's low. Slow onto the point. Top Dragon's 1 HP. They're also low on the side of Wei. Nightmare are looking for the full cap. Pharah behind. Top Dragon taken care of. And Nightmare complete Circuit Royale as well. Where was... It's happened on first point, happened on third point. Peppy is making these crazy aggressive plays. It's almost as if Peppy is working with a... like a different fight plan, you know? Like he's expecting them to take that Rally Ray versus Rally Ray really aggressively. But the rest of his team is playing slow, not really committing to it, looking to respond with ults, and Peppy just ends up absolutely stranded. So it seems a huge disconnect here between what Peppy's trying to do and what the rest of Way are doing. Thank you, Kawaii. Welcome back. Can I not show all the SOOP on stream? No, you can show the timer, but you can't show the actual footage. Peppy got money, he's working with a serious side income. I don't know, but all of a sudden, all to play for, right? Bigger time bank for Way, but we all know about Haddy Theory. What's the thought behind playing Brig versus the Ram Farah? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it, honestly. I'd rather they just played Kiri or something, or even, I don't know, something else. And okay, let's talk about this for a second, because Ada's gone Bastion, as he so often likes to do. Remember, we're in overtime, so everyone starts with all their perks unlocked. So he has got the Lindholm Explosive, but Top Dragon, he just swings into the open. An easy kill for Lethal. Lindholm Explosives in play again, sending the artillery down, shields up from Admiral. The shield holds strong against the explosives. No timing for Aid for a few seconds now. They can walk forward. Aid, a little bit lucky not to get traded there. But now Lethal can start swinging this wider position. Keep him in the back pocket. And Nightmare will get a lot of push. Remember, overtime, they're already down to 20 seconds. Not a lot to work with. Every pick is crucial. Lindholm Explosives out. Shield is used. Form timing for Kuffer now to push forward. 0 swings, everyone swings, more damage into that front line. Kuffer's actually lost his HP trade, but Lethal, he finds the kill. For Bastion, a wide boy, an easy shot to hit, and Lethal will oblige. Now player advantage, Way are trying to slow it down. Are they going to go for a recontest here, or are they just going to play for the high ground position? Might be wiser to play for the high ground position. Kuffer's already walked up quite a lot. Has to be careful, Kuffer. Full pocket coming his way, Pax coming his way. Peppy wants to keep pushing, he's gone all the way through, he's given him a little flip. Kuffer's taken so much damage, but he's not fallen. Zero taking this Faragel. Lethal, another opening pick, Zero is low. 4v4, Lethal finds another one. Wow, they are fighting this side fight, they're just going on. They try and take Top Dragon out of the air, but they still trade UV. They're not out of the woods yet, quite Nightmare. They need to get these kills. Annihilation's going to be popped by Kuffer. Ray coming through from Maka. They want to win it right now. Another annihilation as well. Whip shot from Admiral. He nearly has Varadi. He gets Varadi. He bashes Peppy. He needs to live. Further punches just go through. They're all trying to flood back. Lethal onto the high ground. Lethal lives on the high ground. 2 bars of HP. Zero is back. Peppy can't find any more with the annihilation. Everyone is rushing back to the fight. It's so ugly for Nightmare. They have to stay on point. The Ray is coming through. Kuffer dies. Someone has to take over the touch. Barrage comes in. Zero doesn't find enough. Lethal's got another pick, but who's going to touch? Lee Sumin's rally on point. Lethal, the disruptor shot does it. Maybe Lethal can do it all. Slow onto Lethal. He needs full pocket. Aid is behind him. He's still battling away. Aid is in his face. Maka's in his face. Maka is low. Lethal slides for the kill. Aid shuts him down. UV is still pushing for it. He really wants that Juno kill. He gets the Juno kill, but C9's the point. Kuffer couldn't quite get back on time on Doom. Oh, scrapping for every inch. Scrapping for every single inch. Great overtime round. Lethal providing the opening picks. I thought it was all over when Lee Soo-min had that rally on point. And yeah, I mean, a lot of Nightmare's problems very in that last fight just come from we have to stay on point. We have to stay on point. And yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I thought Lee Soo-min had it sealed, and then he just hangs out in the disruptor shot. Was it? It was stuck. Oh, okay. So he was cooked no matter what. So he's not moving, so it doesn't hit anyone else. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, if they had killed Maka, honestly, if they had killed Maka there, if Lethal would, I mean, Lethal did so much, so hard to ask him to hit another shot. But if he'd found that shot, they kill Maka, and then UV is still there, pocketing Lethal, Kuffer comes back on Doomfist, all of a sudden there's maybe a few more meters in there. But it's not too bad for Nightmare. It's something to work with. If you only have a 1 minute time bank, all you want is something to work with, something to try and defend. And they've got that. They'll be starting on the Sojourn, Farah, Juno, Brig, Ramatra again here, Nightmare. Swing out from Aid. Really need a good first hold, because they got it partway up the slope, but it's a bit of an awkward position. Same comp from Wei, happy to take for Mirror. This time Zero is not starting top right, he's just starting back main with his team. So more limited angles. Pepe's going to make some aggressive moves and 8's going to try and capitalize on that. He's got the rail, he kills 0-2. Player advantage, and the rest of Nightmare have to cut their losses, have to take a back step now. Looking for late kills, they get UV. One of the highest value picks they could get. And now without that main source of healing, Nightmare, yeah, Kufa's going to die on point. They have to take it, and really, they're going to have to concede a lot. They will get another contest before first point, but starting to run out of a bit of space of this space to work with, honestly, if you're Nightmare. Also, didn't build a whole lot of ultimates, so it's going to be another neutral slide. Salt advantage to Wei in the sense that they would get everything a little bit earlier. But they still get to contest with time to spare, basically. So they contest at first point. Kufa will swing on now. Shield is out. Will DP a little bit. Ace trying to swing aggressively. Is forced back here. Just probing for angles. Kufa's taken a lot of damage in this. Concussive Implosion doesn't find lethal. Both Sojins trying to play their angle. Slight ult advantage. Admiral's going to go down. Pepe's gone so deep with this kill. That's made space for aid. Kufa's not able to quite respond in time. And now Kufa is a lone figure on point. Pepe is all behind. He's going to take a bunch of damage. But he's just beaming Kufa in the back. And this is a fight. This is a fight and the point over for Nightmare. They will get another recontest. You can see the yellow box there just underneath Pepe. But the problem is, because they've lost 2 fights, look at the ults. Look at the ults. We're about to have everything. Nightmare, they need time, but they need to touch the point. Really tough situation for Nightmare to manage. They need a little bit of magic. Lethal was so good on the overtime attack. Can he find him some more magic out of nothing? Wei can just wait for their ults, press all their buttons at the same time and overwhelm them. Aid with the overclock barrage as well. Kufa goes down. Zero goes down. They don't have any ults yet, Nightmare. They've got nothing to respond with. Annihilation in the back. And Wei will take Circuit Royale. Disaster. Disaster. Wei 2 maps up in the series. And Nightmare up against it. They tried to take it over to a Ram Mirror, and they got their Ram Mirror. Lost it, though. Now, big question for Nightmare. You've sort of taken the swing at the Ram Mirror. You obviously lost the Winston version. Hazard is probably the next go-to in terms of comps out in around the meta right now. So, should be easy enough to force. I don't think Wei are going to be too upset about taking the Hazard Mirror, so they can probably get that one. But Nightmare up against it now. Alright, let me go grab another drink. And I'll be right back. back in time. What? Let clear in. Oh, all right. Where are we going? Sorry, Runa's happy. Winston ban, Brig ban in response. So I feel like I expect Hazard here. So if I get the Hazard's mirror, I mean, I appreciate. I think this is the right decision for Nightmare in terms of trying to force the Hazard. They take the Winston away, so that's not an option. Yeah, they could ball as well here. Milgaru stayed in, obviously, but he's both their Hazard and their ball player. So they could just play a ball version. Maybe the Brig ban implies that's the way they want to go, right? Enable the ball a little bit more. So, all right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what they choose. I think Nightmare, I'm confident it's going to be a Hazard version. Way other ones with more options. Nightmare locking it in immediately. Zero's going to start on the Tracer. 2 maps up for Way. Nightmare up against it. This has to work. They've obviously going to have more problems down the series in terms of where you're going to get to pick the maps and the bans, etc. And yeah, it's gonna be a Way classic, really, isn't it? Ball, Anna, Kiriko. Very wide, very aggressive. We've seen this is where Way have had a lot of their success outside of the Sigma they played in stage 1. They also had success with this version of the comp. Rolling through, taking a lot of damage by Hilgaru. Keeping them occupied, though. Now the Boop on. Boop's Kuffer in on the way. He's going to get naded, too. Kuffer doesn't really have a lot of counterplay to these Yana cooldowns in many ways. Sam comes through now onto the Sojourn. Lethal's going to slide away. Needs that full pocket. Booped again. So much pressure onto Lethal, but Milgaru, he's still got plenty of health, but he can't find the finishing blow. Bit of space now for Aid on the left-hand side. Kuffer is awfully low as he goes into that one. He needs a lot of care out of this. Both teams have managed to stabilize. Kuffer comes in for another slash. Back down, low HP. Will get topped up again. Pressured off the high ground. Got Lee Soo-min. You see Lee Soo-min and Top Dragon trying to play in this wide style in that way. Like, win the side fight. Get Lee Soo-min into valuable positions to hit high power shots. Admiral is all over on this ball. And Lethal will convert the kill. The London boys getting it done. Ball has been neutralized. Tank advantage. And now Kuffer should feel very free to walk forward. More support from his team now as they're not having to deal with that ball. And they can get this payload rolling forward. Lethal has actually gone so far. He needs to be careful. Lethal, no! Lethal was so desperate for that kill, but he's ended up feeding. Now a reset. Nightmare are going to have to regroup on point. Nade onto Kuffer as well. He's low. They'll top everyone back up. Nightmare do have beat for this next fight. They have Ray for this next fight. Powerful ultimates. More powerful, I think, than the way support ults. Milgar is going to get that payload rolling forward in Way's direction. Lots of ults on the board now. Retake. Pulse Bomb is good from Zero. That beat push over the top. Nano went out onto Aid, but he now doesn't have full support of his team. Beat is going to fade. Admiral kills Lee Soo-min as well, so they've dealt with a couple of the threats, but UV is now getting attacked by his ball. Admiral comes back to respond as Kuffer tries to keep these DPS in check on the other side. This is the problem Nightmare are going to have all throughout the map. Way are going to have a ball on one side, the Soldier swinging another angle, and their Kiri Lucio playing another angle. So Nightmare have to try and mark all the threats while still playing their own game a bit, playing aggressively. Mines come in onto point. Nightmare are able to disengage this foe. Lethal's got the overclock going. Nothing to really shoot at except for ball, so it'll be a 1-for-1 ult trade. Put a bit more damage into the ball. Keeps hold of a rail for this next one as well. The mines will begin to fade. Ray has been used by UV. They kill Lee Soo-min with it, and now Kuffer goes deep for more. Lots of damage onto Aid. He's 1 HP. Kuffer can't find the final shot. He's going to wall off the exit there. Still pushing this one. Hits the slash. Aid is low. Come on. He's going to give a mega. All right, well, we haven't got the kill, but we've cleared the Sojourn out. We still get the space. Still get the space. And the Ray ends up working out, even though it really didn't feel like it would. Milgar is going to stall out the point. Downpour comes out up top. No escape for Raid. He's not getting out of this one. Locked to the floor. Kuffer converts for kill. He pushes for Kiriko as well. Kiriko's low in there. But Kuffer's going to play it safe, preserve his life. They've got checkpoint. They'll keep all 5 alive. And they can keep this one moving forward. They nearly have another beat as well. Last time they were very aggressive with this beat. Expect Nightmare to do the same here. They're just trying to keep hold of these flanks as best they can. Zero's actually hiding bottom left, far side of our screen right now with a pulse bomb. Might run into Lee soon minutes. An overclock to start from Aid. Top Dragon nails the pulse onto UV. They have the beat very soon if they want to go. They've killed Top Dragon. They're also low. Admiral's going to not invest the beat here. They have the lead. They have a significant advantage. No need to take the risks at this point. And instead, they'll save the assault for this next push. And they can do the same thing again. Last time, we had a pretty similar situation when Admiral had beat. Maka had Nano, he used it defensively onto Aid. But the beat was just too much for him. Nightmare able to swarm. So expect Nightmare to play aggressively here. They've got a pulse bomb to throw in as well. Milgaro has made his way onto the hazard. Nano hazard coming out. Admiral's beat connects onto everyone. Anti was onto UV as well, but the beat is good. They push forward, hunting down kills with it, and they catch Lee Zoom in. They catch the entire backline. No backline. They don't have control of the payload, but they can go back and clean up these kills. Milgaro finds a trade. Needs to be careful not to let this one descend into a dogfight. Both DPS are there to fight Zero and Admiral. Aid is stuck behind. They can push this kill. Zero's had his recall force, so now he can't push for kill. Can Kufa catch him on the other side? Maybe not. Milgar is back, so both teams will get a chance to reset, stabilize. Lee Sumin with this Kitsune rush for this next push. Nightmare not with a whole lot of options. Might just choose to play it slow, play for Lethal's overclock, let him pop it from the high ground. Milgar is going to go challenge Kufa, trying to clear a bit of space. Want to use his Kitsune rush as close to the Nightmare backline as he can. Zero with a pulse bomb on the right-hand side. Looking for his opportunity. Juno in his sights. All over this Juno. Giving him the slip. He's so low. Just about lives. Milgar is trying to walk forward with this Kitsune rush at the same time. Both supports still a bit beat up from Wei. Zero is behind him. Slowing it down. Downpour as that slide comes through. Lethal, I don't know if he avoids it. Kufa does not survive. Lethal's got the overclock, but he's got nothing to shoot at. Wei have all DP'd. Only a shot at the Tracer, a difficult one as well. Lethal's going to swap left-hand side. Zero's pushing in, still has this pulse bomb, trying to get on the back line. Wants to force for Suzu, give himself an opportunity, but they're all getting traded here. Zero's going to go back towards point, make sure it doesn't move. Really pushing for that kill onto Maka, but can't find the late trade for his team. And now Wei can threaten checkpoint on this next push. But UV has the Ray. So even though they lose that fight, they've managed to reclaim the ult advantage. Aid is going to have overclock, Top Dragon's going to have pulse bomb. But if Nightmare can take a head-to-head fight, they can use this Ray. They should be good for it. Top Dragon's bullied a pretty aggressive position on its right-hand side. They're forcing Aid back out in main. Ray's not committed yet from UV. They're just trying to clear the space. Another jump in from Kufa. Going for more. Going to get walled off here. Now the Ray push all over Milgaru. Aid gets taken down by the rail. Kufa pushes in deeper for more. He's going to get traded, though. Kufa goes too far, overextends, doesn't have the HP to keep pushing that. Zero is still all over this backline. Where are you going, Maka? Going nowhere. TP has been forced out for Kiriko. Nightmare still scrambling, trying to stabilize. Lethal won't be able to make it out. The wall's good, denies Admiral. And this should be checkpoint. Zero's going to be forced back. Ray doesn't come to anything. 2 Ray pushes now, and that haven't really been ideal for Nightmare. 3 minutes left on the clock. Kitsune rush on point. Admiral has the beat to respond, but I think they're just trying to disengage. Kufa's taking a lot of damage. Defensive wall. Downpour out as well. Kufa is so low. No beat in response. They're going to concede more space. They're going to try and take a fight before lead, I'd imagine. But they need Kufa and Zero back. Zero's going to reset off the map. Come back with the team. And Nightmare have lost all momentum, all control of this map. And it's going to be lead going over as well. Wei take the lead. 2 minutes 35 on the clock. Beat push now. Nightmare. The beat pushes, though, they have been successful more often than not. Lethal's going to get just isolated. They're trying to walk forward here. They've lost it behind. They've traded Maka for it, so it's still a good trade. Rico has been forced onto Zero. They're trying to stabilize, and they've stolen the robot. They are on the run. They have the beat if they need it. Milgaru and Top Dragon still pushing. Wall comes out. Now the beat turn. Aid is far away. Top Dragon won't be able to get out. Looking for this kill. Steals for health pack. Easy kill for Zero in the end, right? There we go. 2 for Zero. They convert the beat push again. They've lost the lead, but only by 9 meters or so they can threaten lead right back. Downpour available for Kufa. UV nearly has the Ray, but Maka will have one quicker. So Nightmare have to play it a little bit slow until they get the Ray of their own. Kufa's going to take the wide position on the right. Zero's going to mark the other side on the left. Tracer going to come marking. Top Dragon's going to use his recall, actually. Zero hasn't committed here, so now a chance for Zero to be aggressive. Maka nearly has Varay, still 10% required for UV. Downpour available for Kufa. That will slow down any progress they can make with Varay. Give UV this last bit of chance. But actually, Wei haven't pushed this advantage. Maybe they didn't realize they quite had something to work with. And instead, UV will be able to charge up this Ray. Lethal will have the overclock, but Zero baited into that fight on the point. 8 hits for shot. Player advantage now, but traded right back by Kufa. Ray comes out from Maka. Lethal with the overclock. Kufa with the downpour. Kufa's going to get beamed down. UV drops for Ray now, but not in time to save Kufa. They're all over him for Ray, but Lethal is walking forward, doing it all with the overclock. Milgaru's still behind. He's on Robot as well. Top Dragon is there. They pounce onto UV. They're going to run and try and stabilize Coast as well. Downpour comes out, optimistic from Milgaru, just trying to play his life with it. Little finger gun at the end, you hit nothing, mate. 40 seconds left on the clock, Wei with a slender lead. Admiral nearly has another beat. Zera has a pulse bomb. Aid has the overclock. Slight ult advantage for Wei, but we've seen what Nightmare can get done with these beats, but they need to have that beat available. Aid's going to double slide over to the flank, again trying to overload on his side, punish Zera. Zero does get less support than Top Dragon does on these side fights due to Lee Soo-min running the Kiri. Wei are slowing it down, 15 seconds on the clock. Nightmare want to have to move, but look at Aid's position. He's all the way in behind. He's got the overclock. Diving from Milgaru, they're hunting it down. Admiral gets the beat in time. Beat comes out, and now Aid is in so deep. He doesn't have a slide. Lethal is low. Aid is stuck in a corner. Punished. Aid made the gamble, tried to make the play. They do trade Sojins. It's 4v4. Maka kills UV. All the healing is really limited. Now it's just Admiral. They need a clutch. Zera is moving the payload forward. Kitsune rush on point. What can Zera possibly do? He has the pulse bomb. He needs a miracle. Kufa's 1 HP on point. And Wei, they're going to claim third place. Lee Soo-min and will fall. Zera gets the kill. They got the beat just in time for that flank, but even though they got an Aid kill, because they were so far back, they were really kind of just out of the fight. So they get that one kill, but then the rest of Wei aren't really in a position that Nightmare can capitalize on. So Wei secure third place. Nightmare will finish in fourth. Also, failing to win a map in Korea here. Disappointing for Nightmare. I mean, it was always going to be tough to win the SOOP Cup, I think, for these Western teams. It was always going to be a big challenge. But I think not being able to get a map, even though we had close maps. If you have close maps, but you still lose all of them, there's obviously a gap there. And when you look at it as well, now we've seen Wei play both Virtus Pro and Nightmare, and the difference in those two results and how those two games felt, right? It's a worry. It's a worry for Nightmare. Obviously, they still have a week until the major. Time to change things, tweak things. The Gultak Derby goes in favour of Wei. Aid will get player of the match. There were moments, weren't there? Lethal had a few pop-off moments. Zera had a couple of nice moments. UV's Ana was actually really impressive back on this Ilios. I think too many times where they failed to convert ult advantages. Key mistakes in terms of support ult usage itself. Kufa overextended in a couple of these occasions. Lethal, and at one right at the start of Runa Sapi, where he's just sort of ego in for the picks. Trying to play brave, trying to play confidently. The problem is, you making these mistakes in key ult fights. Against the good teams, you're always going to struggle to take maps, take the series. See, I don't know. Obviously, yeah. If you're an NA fan, it's not what you wanted to see. We'll get the interview now. Oh. Look closer than yesterday. Yeah. I mean, I think we'll get a bit of a... Because now we've seen Wei play both teams. Let me turn this down a sec. We've seen Wei play both teams. And now we have a clear indication. But we're going to see T1 obviously play Virtus Pro now as well. And that'll maybe give us an indicator. Or T1 just too good. You can't watch sushi on your phone. You need a very detailed play-by-play. I'll do my best. Get a radio cast going. What place? Yeah, they were first in North America, which is why they're invited to this tournament. The two first place from either region. I mean, this is the hard thing, yeah. Did think Cuffer just kept over-aggressing. Yeah, I mean, it was even like, it's just key moments, and these games come down to key moments. These big ult trades, you look at a couple of those fights where in reality, fuck, Nightmare looked nailed to win those fights. But then just one mistake from one player, and it just puts them on the back foot. So, I mean, there's... what's the cope? What's the cope here if you're North American? The cope is... Hold on, let me get some more natural sunlight. Oh. The cope here is... You were at least... you were more competitive today. It looked better. Some of the problems are not that you're so bad you're not even getting into situations where you can win. The problems are more... We get into some of these situations, then we fumble the bag. So, you know, you can fix some of these things, but it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Maybe the best cope for North America is, I think a few people are saying it now in chat, yeah, the best cope might actually just be that, as much as Nightmare were first place, maybe actually in reality SSG are North America's best hope. Never escape the near airport allegations. It's alright, because this time the airport they're near is the airport in Seoul, and that will take them to Hangzhou. The next airport after Hangzhou, that one will be back to America though. So deal with that one when it comes. They'll get sent right to low as SSG, you mean? Yeah, oh yeah, it'll be hard, but inevitably every team's gonna have to... What are we doing? Every team is going to have to... every team's going to have to run into one of these big Korean teams at a time. VP playing the grand final next. Is it best of... where am I going? Oh, is it best of 7 as well? If I remember right. Yeah, best of 7. Oh, thank you, Fear the Lawnmower. Is Genji bad in his comps? I always thought his Genji is way better than his other heroes. I presume you mean for Zera. No, I think Genji is actually... I mean, when they're playing like an Ana, I think there's more of a case for a Tracer, but I think in general, the Genji's really fine here. I don't know if initially, like, he started the Tracer because they were expecting the ball. And the Tracer can do more to just mark the ball, pressure the ball, chase the ball out in some of these situations, as well as still being a threat to the Ana and to the backline. So I don't know if there's some argument for that, but I think Genji would have been really fine. It's definitely Zera's best hero as well. ATAD jail. You consider yourself released. Have I gotten into contact with SOOP during the stream? No, because I've been... they messaged me like 10 minutes before. So I said, you know, fine, whatever. If it's like the legal copyright shit, fine, whatever. We'll have a conversation properly afterwards. Because I don't think we can have that conversation in the 8 minutes, the 8 minutes notice I got. At least not one that would maybe explore all the options. So I'll talk to them afterwards, and then maybe I'll be able to provide an update for what will happen next time. But for today, obviously high quality games on, so we'll just tank it and we'll run it old school. What have teams been playing? So lots of Winston, lots of Hazard, Ram in some places as well. All a little bit map dependent on those. We expect, obviously, Vessler threatened it yesterday. We are going into Virtus Pro now. But remember yesterday when Vesta was like, I'm going to kill everyone on Diva. So maybe we'll get some Diva as well. And this might be more of a EMEA thing once we get to Hangzhou. Like VP will do it and Alcancia will probably do it with Ziad. But then I think all the other teams, you think about once again, Team CC, even Falcons, Crazy Raccoon, SSG, they'll all much prefer to play the Winston or Hazard version of these. Games are left today just for Grand Final. So T1 versus Virtus Pro. Both teams actually dominant in their semi-finals. And we'll see who will be the SOOP champion. Thoughts on why Wei didn't try and force a dive against Virtus Pro? Yeah, I thought that would have been a big weakness for Virtus Pro. Obviously, they wanted to lean into the Sigma, which I think, I mean, seems reasonable enough when you have Pepe, but maybe doesn't seem reasonable enough once you find out the truth. You find out the truth that it was always Vestler. It was always Vestler who was the best at Sigma. Is there any to watch Ilios? I think the VODs will be on SOOP once, but I think they'll just be like one big broadcast VOD. There's an absolute war going on right now between Skanks and Lemon. Mods, keep your eyes on it. Because it's heating up. It's heating up. Alright, do you want to hear the story about why I was evacuated then? Oh wait, should I let this war finish first? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt war with, I'll let the war finish. It has been an absolute slog here. How many points do they have? Lemon with the final deflect here. Skanks. Is the bank empty? The bank is empty. Skanks is going to fall. Wow. Salute for the war. A couple of whales. You ever seen whales fighting each other? No Brendan Fraser. Vish comes in. Too little, too late, Vish. The timer had been issued. We can refund you though, Vish. You kept counting down so much, but never finishing. Well, just like most of the streams with Unterven. A lot of counting down, no finishes. You have $2. I need to get Sigma. You can buy Pepe for $1 or Vessler for $4. What do you do? What if I buy Pepe for $1 and then try and sell him for $3? I turn him around. Or you can use your suggestion, which is just a steal. Have I seen the Minecraft movie? No. I was watching, Juby's gonna get me $2? Alright. Alright. I just borrowed $2 from Juby then. And then when Vessler wins me upwards of $5 to $10 from all these championships I'm going to win, I'll just pay back Juby. This is what me and Andrew have been doing for an entire stage. We've made a career out of not finishing. Can I put the timer on to sync? Oh, wait. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Yep. There we go. Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Good shout, Warg. All right. All right, we got 4.5 minutes. So do you want to hear what happened to me last night then? So picture this. It's a normal Saturday night. There's no co-stream. I'm sitting downstairs with my fiance. We are watching a documentary. We are watching How to Rob a Bank on Netflix. A pretty good documentary. Now, unfortunately, I've not got to finish yet. The theme of the day is not finishing. So then there is, while we're watching the documentary, the lights flicker. Like the lamp we have on and the main light in the other room, they flicker at the same time. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What's going on? That's a bit weird. And they flickered a few times. And then they kind of just stopped. So we were like, oh, let's just turn the lights off for now. And we'll just keep watching the show. The TV wasn't flickering or anything. We didn't really think too much of it. And then a little bit later, there is a bang on the door. Like, and someone knocking, but it is outrageously loud. Outrageously loud. Felt like someone was trying to, like, break the door in or something. So I stand up, I guess as the man of the house, thinking, oh, fuck. Not really a fighter, but I guess I'm going to go to the door and die now. I go to the door, I look through the peephole. Nobody's there. So I'm a little bit, well, okay. I presume it was like 8:30 at night or something, so I was like, is it just some fucking drunk idiot just, like, you know, running down the doors, slamming them? So I sort of looked through the peephole. Neighbours across the street are sort of out of their house chatting, but that's quite common, you know, the neighbours opposite are always sort of, like, quite often outside talking to each other and stuff out the front. So I was a little bit like, okay, what's going on? So my fiance's, like, a little bit panicked, anxiety levels spiking. So I sort of look... No one's there. I sort of looked through a peephole for a while in case, like, you know, I was like, what could it possibly be? And I just presume, all right, some fucking drunk idiot or some maniac just, like, slamming on doors and then it's just, like, ran off. So I sort of head back to the living room, down the hallway, and then the exact same fucking knock. So loud. At this point, my fiance has preemptively put 999 into her phone. You know, ready, not called, but ready to call. Huge. So another slam at the door. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Back to the peephole. Look at the peephole again. Nobody's there. And I'm like, I really don't want to open the door to have a look. Because it feels like if someone's trying to, like, barge in and rob the house, the worst thing I can do is open the door for the guys. So I was looking... I was looking outside again. So I couldn't see anyone. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So then I head over to like our window, like that overlooks the front of the house, to just sort of get a bit of a vantage point, you know, scout out my locations before I'm opening the door. I open the door, loads of the neighbours are outside. I'm looking, like, down the street. Exactly, high ground. High ground is powerful here. So I get the angle, I get the high ground, I scout out, I try and find out what's going on. So I look out the window, expecting to see, like, I don't know, like a fucking brawl or something. And there's loads of movement. Loads of my neighbours are outside. People are moving. And then I see a couple of my neighbours coming out. Considering it's like 8:30 at night on a Saturday, they're coming out and they've got, like, their kids with them. Their kids have, like, got putting, like, coats on their kids and taking their kids out and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? I sort of, like, peer out the window, look down the street, and then I see the guy sort of made his way, knocking down all the doors. Policeman got all the, like, the official kit on. I look, and I can see, like, the road at the end has been blocked. There's, like, a police car there. I look down the left, the other side of the road, because our house is kind of central. Look down the other side. Fire truck there. Again, lights on. The road is blocked off. And at this point, I realise, fuck, it was the police trying to knock in. So I'm like, fuck. So I go, so I was there with my fiance, and we're like, let's go look. Let's go outside and let's find out what's going on, I guess. Let's go talk to a police officer. So, get our coats on, grab our keys, like, don't really know what's going on, head outside, talk to a couple of neighbours are getting their stuff ready, like, what's going on, and they're like, oh, we're being evacuated. So we're like, yeah, everyone's to the end of the street, so we're walking down, we come across the police officer, we're like, what's going on? They're like, road over, there's a huge fire, there's been a fire, and we're worried there's gas canisters inside, so we're concerned it might lead to an explosion. So what we're doing is we're evacuating everyone in the area. get them out, get everyone out. Where are we being evacuated to? They said, end of the street for now, go to the end of the street, because towards the field. And then we're arranging like transport to like a local church or a local school or something, just like somewhere you can put streets full of people for a night. So we go to the end of the road, and then like all our fucking neighbors are there. Our next door neighbors come out. God bless them. They've got their son. They've got a 5-week-old baby as well. The 5-week-old baby was so tired. God bless. So we're all out at the end of the street. And yeah, and we were just waiting. And there's like multiple streets are cordoned off. There's loads of fire trucks, loads of police. Everyone's just sort of waiting around, you know, etc. A few people are sort of like, oh, can I get my car so we can just drive to a neighbor's? We're messaging friends to sort of figure out like, where are we staying tonight in case we can't go back to our house? So yeah, so we were outside in the end because we sort of made the call of like, we were going to stay at our friend's house, but the question was very much, the question was mainly of like, where are we going to stay if we can't get back into our house? Our friends were like quite far away, like a half-hour taxi type thing. So we were like, well, let's wait around for a bit because I don't want to, you know, if we can go back in like an hour, I don't mind. We just wait outside for an hour, you know. So it turns out, yes, and it was like an old workshop or something that's like no longer in use. A fire started in that building with gas canisters inside. The fire, like I've seen some of the photos, actually fucking huge fires. Huge fires. So, I mean, credits to all the emergency services. Considering it all happened, it happened at about 8. We were evacuated at about 8:45. The whole fucking place is shut down. They get everything shut down, they deal with it, they keep us in contact of like, okay, we don't know what's happening yet, you know, the fire marshal's in charge of everything, we're just shutting down the area. Then as soon as there's updates of like, okay, they're going to have a meeting at this time, that meeting will take about 10 minutes, and that'll be the sort of decision of like, can we let people into their homes or not again? And then, as we're talking to our neighbors, I told you about the lights flickering, so I thought our wiring was fucked or something. Turns out, everyone's lights flickered. It was the fire. The fire goes off, obviously hits something in the fucking electrical system for the streets. So everyone's lights flickered at the exact same time because we were talking to our next door neighbors and they were like, yeah, our lights flickered. And then some other people heard us saying, it's like, yeah, our lights flickered as well. And it's like, oh my God. I thought something was fucked with our wiring and we're going to have to get some fucking, we're going to have to get like an electrician in or try and figure something out. Like, oh, it's going to cost money, blah, blah, blah. It was a fire, yeah. So eventually we're outside for probably an hour and a half in the end. Outside for an hour and a half. And then they say, okay, they didn't let every street back in, but our street, the streets, I guess, more towards the outside, they were allowed back in. So, yeah, so then we went back in. So, turns out, good news, I guess. Good news is because it was an abandoned workshop, while the fire was, I guess, quite ferocious and really quite big, considering it was in, like, the middle of a residential area. Because there was only the workshop, no one was harmed, nothing like that. There was literally no injuries, and the emergency services did a hell of a job. So yeah, that was my night. And I'll finish the documentary about how to rob a bank. I'll also get in a Smashy interview as well. Sounds pretty chill. Yeah, eventful. Oh, all right, Russian smash. Yeah, silver lining is everyone's fine, nobody got hurt, and actually, if anything, just really impressed with how the emergency services handled all of it. You know, like obviously at the time when they're knocking on the door, I was really spooked because I couldn't see anyone. But it makes sense if he's trying to if the policeman's trying to evacuate the entire street, he's not just going to knock on a door, wait a few minutes to see if anyone comes. He's going to like knock a few doors at a time, explain to whoever answers, etc. So yeah. So it all makes sense with the power of hindsight, but honestly, someone starts banging on your door like that, like, it felt like the next step was going to be them kicking the door in or something. So, that was the scary bit, but everything was actually fine in the end. Thank God as well, you know? What about the morning? Well, yeah, then I wake up and I'm, I see I'm in legal trouble. Yeah, so yeah, when they let us back in, they said, like, keep all your windows and doors shut, because I think, obviously, there's just a lot of, like, smoke and fumes in the air. But, did not see the parachute stuck on the roof of a stadium in Toulouse for the Rugby Champions Cup. No. How did a parachute get stuck on there? Do we know the cause of a fire? No. Even like the police officer like sort of told us there's a fire risk of explosion next door, but actually half the details we have here are more just from the news articles than anything we got told at the time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Because it's kind of funny, Sans. Because the fact that my fiance had like 999 ready to call in case like something crazy was going to happen, or it was like some maniac at the door. I would have called the police and be like, "Someone's knocking on our door." The police would be like, "Yeah, I know it's us. Let us in. You need to get you out." Oh. It was yours, Seppu? How many times do I have to tell you? How many times, Seppu? Stop parachuting over it. So yeah, a dramatic evening. That wasn't really that dramatic. A dramatic few moments into a lot of waiting around, and then a slightly confusing and dramatic morning. But then, some good Overwatch. What I'll do is I'll refresh the stream as well, because I think it's better if I'm ahead, right? Because then you can pause for YouTube. So hopefully we'll keep ourselves, try and keep myself as far in the future as I can. Sorry, had to go through that. Cheers, Chrissy. Worst part was, I was really enjoying that documentary as well. Never got to finish it. If anyone wants a documentary recommendation as well, I can tell you this. The first 40 minutes of How to Rob a Bank, definitely worth watching. And I actually anticipate the remainder of the documentary, the last 50 minutes, is also going to be worth watching. I'll let you know when I finish it. But I'm hopeful for the second half. Lijiang Tower, first map. How much did your intrusive thoughts make you want to sing I'm a fire starter when this was happening? No, there was a bit. So we walked to the end of the street. We're waiting around with all our neighbors, and then me and my fiance are like, "Oh, I want to smoke." And there was a bit of me in my head is like, "Ah," I was like, "Is it a good idea to smoke? Do I smoke in front of firefighters?" And I was like, "I don't want to show him the fire. We're not like set him off, you know." Complete nonsense thoughts of like, I don't. They're already dealing with a fire. I don't want to have another fire, you know, like. You know, I know it's stupid. Yeah, it makes no sense. But I was like, I mean, these guys are firefighters, right? And if I have the fire, who do you think they're going to fight? Think about it. If they just turn the hose on me for a second, I'm sorry. How do you sync if you can't delay the SOOP stream? Yeah, I'm going to try and make myself live as far in the future, so then hopefully the YouTube is able to sync to that. They're just going to fight the fire. It's not like you're the Human Torch. You don't know I'm not the Human Torch. I wouldn't tell you if I was, but you don't know I'm not the Human Torch. Ooh, Korea 60-40. What are our predictions? 54-46? Oh. Some slight time travel might help. I mean, Gardas is always happy. Traveling into the fourth dimension makes you dizzy? Okay. I'll avoid. Yeah, pretty good odds of being the Human Torch considering a fire would go upwards and burn off all your hair anyways. Sure. Surely if I'm the Human Torch, my hair is also fireproof, right? No? A lot of Human Torch experts here. Not for you specifically. Has anyone watched The Venture Brothers? The Venture Brothers is like it's like a comedy, I guess, sort of like a mock superheroes thing, and they have a version of a Human Torch in it, but instead, when he sets on fire, he's not fireproof. He's just on fire and in immense pain. He's superpowered, he's just on fire, he ignites with oxygen, he's just in immense pain all the time. So every time they wake him up, he's just screaming on fire. Alright, should we lock in a little bit then? So, T1 Pickliejang Tower, which is a bit interesting that they don't force more of a heavier dive map here, like in Ilios or something. Because really, when I look at like VP and Alcancia fall into the same category of what their biggest problem is going to be at the Hangzhou Major is it's a dive-heavy meta and they're going to be forced to a lot of Winston maps. So, going to be the Ana ban. So it was an Ana and Torb ban. So it feels like T1 wants to play the Hazard version. And Virtus Pro, I mean, it doesn't really stop the Hazard, but it stops them maybe doing any kind of Winston thing. That sounds like experience in life in general. Yeah. All right, do I need to... I'll do this again. Better line up. There we go. All right, so yeah, so Torb ban, Ana ban in response. So it feels like in many ways that was going to open the door for Hazard, but just going to play Winston, Kiri, Lucio instead. No Ana. Virtus Pro going to play Diva. Jwoo's sticking for Sim. They're going to TP to point here actually. Hold on, let me close for Preds. Close for Preds. All right, sorry. Yeah, TP onto point. They flip around to the back of it immediately, and obviously the back of this point can be quite a scary area to play in. But without the Ana, there's at least one less thing to worry about. Donghak makes the first dive in. Susie from Gala catches everyone, but it's not enough. The Disruptor shot does so much. 2 for 2, though. 3v3 left. Fixer is low on coast. Donghak is looking for that kill. The supports from Virtus Pro will group back up. Vetzer on half HP on the other side, but Fixer's booped Donghak off! He did it all on Brig yesterday. He's going to do it all on Lucio today. Vetzer's going to reset off as Virtus Pro get the first flip. Great, yeah. I mean, the Disruptor shot from Proud did so much in the end when they were all stuck on that coast area. It's going to be a scrappy fight as both teams are flooding back to point. Jwoo's still on the sim. Bit of an awkward pick into all of this. They're forced to DP. Susie used onto Donghak. Donghak's going to try and reset. They've not conceded a flip and makes an aggressive move. Shockwave swings at the same time and takes Skew's head off. Player advantage now. Donghak jumps onto point. Little boop as well. They have to pocket Shockwave through all of this, but he is just fanning that hammer in Donghak's face. Bit of Matrix on the heels too. They'll clean this fight up. Now coming up to the ult portion of the fight. Going to be Kitsune Rush versus Kitsune Rush, but look at this beat gap. Fix is going to have it significantly ahead of Skewed. Donghak will have a primal pod probably partway through the fight. Virtus Pro can actually have a symbol partway through the fight as well. Zest going to try and come through what looks like his left-hand side. Gala sending kunais down. Kitsune Rushes will be mirrored. Fixer has the beat available. Shockwave down to half HP. Needs a little bit of help. Beat comes through now. Catches every single member of Virtus Pro. No such response. Donghak dies before Primal. And another quick fight for Virtus Pro. Fixer finds his way off the map somehow, but the beat was good. He's done his job. Let him take a little reset in spawn. Now T1 coming back with Primal, nearly a beat of their own, but Virtus.pro, they're going to have High Noon. They're going to have Symbol to throw on point. They can make this last fight really difficult. Zest is trying to snake his way in through the Mega, but no one's actually that side. Virtus.pro just continues to play the back of a point right now. Symbol and High Noon as T1 are going to be forced to touch. Have they found Proud before it? No, Overclock. There's the beat. Oh, overwhelms it. They still have the Symbol going, so they still have player advantage. Virtus.pro trying to stabilize Donghak with this Primal, though. No support option to respond. Full beam going, but Jay was in all sorts of trouble. Gets taken down, and Donghak is on the backline now. Forces the TP out of Akiri. Looks for the Lucio. Sends him out the window. Vessela's still there. Has the self-destruct. Will be dropping this bomb. Donghak's going to try and get him. Can't. Shockwave is back on the respawn. Donghak has to jump back out to the Mega. Gala's killed Zest on point. They're not over yet. They don't have control of point. Proud is back on. He's got the overclock. He's nailed the shot onto Fixer. He's got Pocket from his Kiriko as well. Swinging onto point. Shockwave takes a body shot. Pocket still coming. Shockwave's away. He's taking the fight. Another shot hit by Proud. The killer's eventually converted. Vessela is back on point. Significant advantage now. Sim TP is back. Turret's going on to point. Not enough though. T1 will just about get the flip eventually. But they had to spend so much for that. Kitsune rush now for both Kirikos. J-Woo's sick in the sim. Are they just going to TP to point again? TP to point, take the Kitsune rush trade. Looks like Vesta's actually coming right-hand side now. Just trying to force T1 back to that point. Going back to main now, Virtus.pro. Yeah, back to main, and it's a TP on Kitsune rush trade, and Shockwave is in the mix right now. Needs all the pocket in the world. Proud hits the shot, though. Jay-Woo's going to be able to find a trade. Simbeam is going. If they can keep Jay-Woo alive, there's always a chance. This beam is doing so much. Jay-Woo gets a kill. He's still alive. Jay-Woo's HP is only going up. Donghak has to jump out. The Simbeam is doing too much. Donghak has to come back into a contest. 25% offness. TP away from Jay-Woo. He's going to get this beam going again. Donghak is trying to prioritize for Kiriko instead. All this pressure onto Gala. Vessela is there. Skewed has been booped. See you later. Vessela with the knock off the map. No backline for T1. Donghak doesn't have Primal. He has to go for the touch. Zest is going to be able to get the first one. Goes for Pulse Bomb. It's wide. Dies for that attempt. Donghak 9% off Primal. T1 are on the ropes. He can't touch. Virtus.pro win the first map. Big boots from Fixer. Big boops from Vestala. And Virtus.pro take the first round off T1. There we go. That's the opening boop. Virtus.pro playing so brave as well. Like, Shockwave is really going into some of like risky positions and just trusting his backline, the Matrix, etc. to pocket him through. And even though he's dying in a lot in these fights, Shockwave, he's taken a lot of attention, he's taken a lot of resources, and it's a classic case. Like, maybe they shut down Shockwave a decent amount, but then Jay-Woo becomes free. Now it's going to be an Orisa mirror. We saw Vessela give Milgar the absolute business on this. Zest is on Farah on point early. Jay-Woo is on the Genji here instead. Other than that, fairly similar compositions. Jay-Woo's going to peek onto point, has to burn that deflect. Point doesn't unlock for another few seconds, and actually Zest wants to be aggressive, trying to fight this Genji, but Jay-Woo has full line of sight to his backline, and look, oh, Fixer's making an aggressive move. Jay-Woo's coming in too. They've taken over point. Jay-Woo has the space, and they've got the first flip out of this. Vestla's gone deep into Dojo, though. Will get punished for it. They've lost control of point, but they've got tank advantage. Now they can push out. Kill for Donghak onto Gala. And they're all just going to fall after that. Overextension from Vestla, really. It was a good swing from them. Aggressive pressure on point. Fixer commits to help Jay-Woo's position. Vestla swings at the same time. Pressure onto the backline. And that creates the space for Jay-Woo and Fixer to win that fight on point, but Vestla just goes too far. Now, retake, only 14% for Virtus.pro. No ults just yet. Ray and Rally's both very close. Skew's actually a little bit quicker than Fixer in all of this. Worth noting, Proud's overclock is going to be charged up real fast too. And Donghak nails the spear. Now Fixer tried to commit forward. He's going to try and poop out. He can't quite get all the way out. And it'll be a quick second fight as well for T1. Force all the way out. And now we're going to get a big ult fight. Crucial for Virtus.pro here. If they lose this next fight, they're going to be really stretched for time. So they have to win this ult trade. Jaywu nearly has the Blade, which will combo really nicely with the Terra Surge, the Ray, the Rally. All really nice. But it's not like T1 don't have their own combos. Might just be a situation where is the Ray Blade going to be great enough a Ray Barrage? Trying to come over the bridge. Early overclock from Proud. They're going to try and push into it now with Ray. Gala takes one. Torpedoes at the same time. Terra Surge comes through. Vessel's looking for that damage. Doesn't find any kill. Does find Proud. But they need more. Vigi is low. Blade coming through from Jaywu, but he has to backstep. Vessler's found another kill. Rally out from Skewed, though. Vessler's backed up to point. Don't think he has any support. They're all piling onto Vessler right now. He's going to spin. Barrage over the top as well. Jaywu's going to dart it out, but Vessler can't avoid all that damage. They're trying to extend this one. Back on the bridge. Spin comes through. Stops Gala getting out. Fixer is in there with the Rally, trying to make it work, but here's the Terra Surge. They're so low. Fixer's going to fall. Pushing onto Shockwave. Not full support. Boops off the map. Charged up Javelin. Gonna go into Vessler. 10% left. Virtus Pro. They can get the touch across point by Jaywu, but they have to try and force for a retake. That was all 10 ults used in that. Shockwave over onto the Sojourn as well. Jaywu's making his way towards point now. Fixer's going to join him there. Vessler needs to make some moves because Jaywu's going to need help with this Farah Brig pair. He's trying to juke him out. He's going to actually try and follow the Farah here. Down to half HP. It's Vigi with the torpedo swing. Same time as Proud. And they hit the old combo. Vessler's rotate over to point. They've actually got the flip here, even though they've lost their hit scan. Skewed down to half HP. They're struggling to get everyone across the bridge. Jaywu's going to fall. Vessler's looking for something. Can't hit the spear. Desperate for it as Fixer comes across. Vessler runs for the Mega. Won't be able to make it. The backline is stuck on bridge. Donghack's kept him completely contained. And now Zest is just firing down rockets. T1 are going to flip the point back. The touch is going to be impossible here. Jaywu's going to try and dash for it. Does extend the overtime for what it's worth, but he dies immediately. This touch is going to be even harder. Vessler finds a trade, but no one can touch. T1 tie it up 1-1. So I feel, yeah, so obviously we saw both teams running a pretty similar formation where the Orissas are going to sort of butt heads on bridge/main. And the Farah Brig is going to fight the Genji Brig on point. I think this is a very good point for the Farah. You saw Jaywu, he was trying to battle the Farah and he won it a couple of times, but quite difficult. And once you're able to camp in this bridge, first fight on Garden is so important because the retake is so difficult across bridge or across white. Really, it all came down to that big ult trade. But they tried to use the Ray in the overclock, and it just always feels a bit risky. Even though the Ray can beat the overclock if you can connect with the Sojourn, the fact that your Juno has to swing into quite a scary position to use that Ray forward, obviously that's what led to Gala's death. We're now going to get more of the same. It's going to be Genji versus Genji this time, though. Cass versus Sojourn. Proud sticking over onto the Sojourn, but the Cass is dead immediately. Donghack makes that aggressive move, and him and Zest will just finish off all of this. Backline, on the other hand, hold strong. Deflect onto the spear as well from Zest. Clean first fight for T1. A little bit interesting here now. We're seeing T1 find the victory. Find the success, I should say, in the Orisa mirror. You'd think, if anything, this is where Virtus Pro would be comfortable, and maybe it explains a little bit T1's decision to pick this map. As that they had confidence in that Orisa version. Walking up through main now. Speedring comes out from Vigi. Swinging forward. Fixer's going to clear this Genji out. Donghack's made an aggressive move. He's quite committed here. And that's all of Donghack's cooldowns. But they find the shot. Proud takes advantage of all this space. Zest is all over this. They have got Shockwave in a corner. No escape for him. He gets forced back. And again, Skewed had to pop the Rally there to make sure they live. But quicker Rally. Make sure the backline lives. Doesn't trade, and they continue this forward hold. Now T1 starting to set up a few of these scary combos, where they can drop the Terra Surge, either with the Blade, the Overclock, the Ray. They all go nicely together. And Virtus Pro are going to have to attempt the retake again. Going to see Jaywu, he's to the left of our screen right now, playing very wide, trying to come through the white area. Bit of space now for Virtus Pro to work with. Overclock now from Proud. Trying to swing wide. Deflect out from Jaywu. He's forced all the way back. Vessler's walking up main. He's taken so much damage. Fortify comes out. Now the Blades are being traded. Jaywu's swinging and Rally out with a Terra Surge from Donghack. Interrupts the Blade. Vessler goes down. Doesn't find an opportunity to use his own. Shockwave is high-nooning on point. Trying to flip it. He can't. One more attempt for Virtus Pro. It's going to be a Ray versus Ray fight. Vessler has the Terra Surge. Virtus Pro have to manage the touch during all of this. to avoid a Chris Theory situation. Full rail for Proud as they walk up. Coming through, White just trying to force it through. Here comes Varay. Proud's going to try and swing in behind him here. Terror Surge goes in. Jwoo converts 1 kill. Jwoo's back on the sim as well. They've got 2 kills here. Zest dashes onto point. He's low. They win the combo. They can just run into him there. Virtus Pro, because they have 2 ults versus 1 ult, both ults now work very well when used in a small area. And they'll be more than happy with that. But now Virtus Pro, it needs to be perfect from here on out. They've swapped to the Sim, so the Sim will be vulnerable, a more killable target than a Genji is. But the Sim beam, getting that charge, if you keep your Sim alive, Jwoo will take over this matchup. All they need to do is keep Jwoo alive. Maybe a little bit easier said than done. TP up now. Holding the White Room, turrets above them. Proud's going to find the opening pick. That's going to make it a little bit harder. Now the attention will turn to Jwoo, trying to keep him up. Full pocket. He's already 75% to this theme. He's going. Bash comes in. Proud nails the shot at the same time, so Jwoo will fall before that sim wall comes through. And Proud, good for all the picks. For Rally to chase him down. Fixer is on the run, but not even Fixer can get himself out of this one. Skewed will take him down. Proud with the overclocking spawn. Zest has killed Shockers on point. And Virtus Pro going to lose Lijiang Tower. I mean, crucial picks from Proud, honestly. Every time it felt like a pretty even, or the number of times it was a pretty even situation, either in terms of ultimates or just neutral, and then Proud just finds this opening pick on their retake, on anything else. Just enough, I'd say just enough to get them over the line. Competitive though, maybe the best, or the most interesting part of that is they beat the Winston Kiri Lucio with the D.Va. I don't know if that would feel differently if it was an Anna Brig version. Obviously, they banned the Anna. They still have a Winston ban. They still have a Brig ban to use to try and empower Vesta on the D.Va. But it was actually the Orisa matchup they lost there. Alright, predictions open for map 2. VP's choice now. Remember, we are playing best of 7 as well, so plenty of Overwatch still to happen. Orisa over Ram. Yeah, I think in terms of like Orisa versus Ram, it's a pretty, like, both tanks are viable. But it feels like we've seen more Orisa out of both of these teams. I mean, I think Vestler's Orisa is better than his Ram, for what it's worth. Donkak had a really reasonable performance as well. Always have these question marks with Donkak off Nose Heroes. Yeah, I think both are pretty. You always talk about, like, you know, we always have this thing of like, oh, well, Malga's really good into the Ramacha's really good into the Sigma, or into the Reinhardt, etc. But I think, like, Orisa's pretty good into just everything. You think the Ramfields, yeah. I mean, chance to interrupt the block. I think both can work, but I think if you got a good Orisa, it's really reasonable. I mean, the bit that probably felt hardest was actually Shockwave. As much as some of it was, you know, Proud just finds the shot, etc. You know, sometimes you'll just lose hit scan duels. A lot of it was really, just, felt like we were on Shockwave's POV a couple of the times once we were on to the Orisa matchup. Felt like Shockwave couldn't move at all. You know, compared to when you play Cass into like a Winston or even a D.Va or something a little bit, your ability to bully that tank is really high. Against an Orisa, you really can't. So maybe the Sojourn would have helped. Maybe it'll feel different on a slightly bigger map as well. We obviously saw it was a control center on Garden. Circuit Ramban? Could be. Obviously, as much as, what do you call it? As much as Wei actually wanted to pick Circuit Royale and get Peppy in on Sigma, T1 don't want to do that at all. T1 really don't want to do that at all. Best of 7, yeah, Quark. He had a good Orisa in Overwatch League, did he? I have no memory of it. I only remember him playing like Winston Ball mostly when we played them. I mean, guys, we've seen... Chill out, guys. We've seen 2 rounds of Orisa after watching a weekend of Winston and Hazard. I'm going to need everyone to hold their horses right now. Everyone's going to have to hold their horses. It's just, you know, it's Control Center, it's Garden. Horses held? Yeah. I mean, I think what we're actually seeing, if Winston's viable, if D.Va's viable, if Hazard is viable, if Orisa's viable, if Ram is viable, if even on certain maps, we've seen people playing Bull, we've seen people playing Sigma. Just seems pretty good, no? You know, we have these conversations about what metas the most fun or most interesting. I think, regardless of like what your personal feelings are on heroes you enjoy watching, I think there's probably an overwhelming consensus that everyone enjoys it when there's variety. Yeah, so we're in a world of variety. All right, Verts Pro have picked Circuit Royale. I forgot who said it, sorry. Ramban? I think we might be in that situation. You have to, the reason Verts Pro, obviously the nice thing about Ramban is you also protect Sigma. So you can force that Sigma matchup. Last time T1 played this against, was it Onside Gaming they played in their quarterfinal? They actually just played a dive comp on Circle Royale Attack, and they won, but they were kind of winning anyway. I think it'll be a lot harder against Virtus Pro. So I think this is great map choice. Maybe the obvious map choice. Certainly puts them, puts T1 into a situation where they don't really have any good options. Oh, we're going to see Viper coming in for Zest as well. Orisa is low-key fun to watch. Yeah, I enjoy watching. I mean, obviously, my feelings are actually, I'm happy to watch any form of Overwatch. But yeah, I think Orisa's, since they made the original change, like to take away her shield and put in like the javelin, the spin, and her playstyle changed a lot more to just from being an anchor to being an aggressive, like push and clear stuff. I think it's actually become like a really fun hero to watch. Need to bring back Holt. Imagine if Orisa... No, come on. Imagine if Orisa also got her pullback. And you get pulled into Javelin. What if she just did for full combo? Just getting pulled Javelin on cooldown. It'd be too much. It'd be too much. Holt plus Farapul. It'd be absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Holt into Farapul, into Barrage, into... Just win every time you hit the combo. Just give her some more abilities. Just load her up. Load her up. Upgrade her. Throw in a rally bash. She just headbutts you and you get stunned. Alright, Virtus Pro. On cue, Circuit Royale, Ramban. Expect them to use this a bunch at Hangzhou as well. Farah ban in response from T1. Yeah, reasonable enough. Farah always strong on Circuit Royale. If T1 want to play dive as well, if they want to play if T1 want to play dive as well, then in reality I expect them to probably play. What did they? Was it Doom Genji Widow they played last time? So I imagine they're going to try and do the same. If I'm Virtus Pro here, I don't know if I want to start with, maybe rather than starting with, like, I think they started Bapalari last time. But maybe instead of maybe Bapalari's okay, but maybe don't go Bap Zen or anything. That really invites for Doomfist. I think if I'm Virtus Pro, I'd much rather, even though it's a tough map for dive, and I'm happy either way, which is why Circle Rail is a good pick. I'd still rather just take some version of like Sig/Ram Mirror against these guys, rather than try and deal with the dive. Because when they play the dive, you still have Donghak on Doom, you still have a lot of these players on just kind of their insane carry heroes. And there's always just a chance for Donghak to go sicko mode. See any admins or anything coming over onto the VP side. So not sure what exactly we're pausing for. They pause so you can get out of bed? Oh, okay. We're all just waiting for homosexual to get up. Should I start studying Korean to become better at Overwatch? Yes. It's your quickest solution for sure. Alright, unpausing. And we'll go into it. Alright, so I think we know more or less what Virtus Pro are going to play. Some version of Sigma, maybe supports and DPS. There's a couple of different options for them. The big question here is, what did T1 do in response? Alright, remember T1 are on the defense as well. So they're walking out of spawn right now. They are committing to this comp. They are going to play Zen Ana. Obviously, Vigi skewed on Zen Ana. That's a pretty good looking Zen Ana combo. Donghak on the Doomfist here. So once we get to second point and third point, I think dive is really okay as a defensive comp. First point is where they're going to have all the troubles. So if I'm Virtus Pro, I want first point to be smooth sailing. And then I want to try and nail my snowball on second. I mean, I guess that's kind of always what you want to do anyway. But I think versus this type of comp, it's even more important. But try and negate the parts of a map that are going to be truly difficult for your comp. Alright, true 50-50 Preds. Even on Sigma, people won't back Virtus Pro more. Donghak going to start on the corner. You're going to see a lot of this where Donghak is going to block. Vessler's going to save his rock to try and cancel that block, and Donghak will just be forced back. But if you're Virtus Pro, you're happy with that. Because even though you don't get the rock and the punish onto the Doomfist, if Donghak is jumping backwards, he's not hitting your backline. And you are more than happy with that. So Virtus Pro going to get this first quarter for free. Skew's going to rotate to a slightly wider angle. And Virtus Pro can really just sort of rinse and repeat this. They can just keep bullying Cart, threatening Donghak, forcing him back. At a certain point, T1 have to make an aggressive move, but Fixer's gonna... How on earth has Fixer got that kill onto Vigilante? He gets traded for it. But now Skew's gone right inside. Skew's not getting out of this. Donghak and Skew are on this off angle. Proud's gonna die. That's no healing outside. Jaywoo's come to clear Skew out. He's gonna try and rotate in front of everyone. No escape. And T1 have made an absolute mess of this. Fixer found a chance to pounce on Viana. No idea how he found it, but he went for it and he makes the play. And that's going to be smooth sailing first point, right? Smooth sailing first point. That's exactly what we said we wanted for VP. But Vigi nearly has the nade and Skewed has gone onto the Brig, which allows this Ana Brig to be a little bit more aggressive into Vessler in some situations here. But the Nano's going to be the key timing. Donghack is coming in. He'll get the Meteor Strike mid-fight. This is the real test for Virtus Pro. Rock is good from Vestler. Donghack is denied. Flux is slept from Vigi, though. Vestler looked for the punish, and Donghack is still taking this nano in. Fixer, perfect shield on that slam. Meteor Strike comes out. Well played by Fixer, but there's more damage coming. Shield is up again. Fixer bashes away. Donghack is half HP behind. Proud has slid into the backline too. Array on point. Virtus Pro, they want to keep going forward. Shockwave dies. Vestler trades it. Vestler will get 2 as well. Now they come back. The payload is still moving forward. Get on the payload, guys. The Genji's low behind. Vestler can clean up all of these. Where are you going, Proud? Oh, he's going onto the high ground. Deal with Proud. There we go. Vestler gets all the clean up. The payload's still moving. So well played from Fixer. So well played from Vestler. When you play against these high skill dive compositions, sometimes you just need to play well. You need to nail your peel. You need to avoid these things. And that is second point. What did we say? Smooth sailing first point. Nail the snowball on second. Now all of a sudden, 5.5 minutes on third point. Virtus Pro, they've got Rally, they've got Blade to keep going. Donghack has gone Winston. They've got DPS ults T1, but they are well and truly on the back foot. Shockwave's got this angle on left. Vestler's going to be very low in main. Has to slow it down for a second. Going to re-peek now. Overclock from Proud. Looking for something. They try and commit onto this flank. Fixer's going to drop the Rally Blade in response from Viper. He is all over this brig. Fixer's trapped in a corner. No escape. Virtus Pro only used the Rally, though. So 2 DPS ults for that Rally. T1 will take a bit of a step forward. Try and hold the spawn. Double support ult for T1. Virtus Pro coming back with their DPS ults. If your Virtus Pro can maybe start with the overclock, see if that forces a nano or a rally out of T1. Play it a little bit slower. They've got Shockwave on the angle now. Donghack's going to respond to that. Disruptor shot to help clear the bubble. Shockwave comes back around main. Donghack still find us right hand side. Fixer needs to be careful, but he's not scared of anyone. Trying to walk up main. Nano onto Donghack, but it's not really much of a jump in. The Rock's going to connect onto Donghack as well. Where are we going? The overclock baits out the nano. Virtus Pro going to be happy with this exchange. Donghack trying to mark the flank again. They're trying to bust that side open. Donghack has to back jump. He catches him with the flux. I don't know if they've got damage to kill Donghack here, but he is low. He's going to try and stabilize on the high ground, but Virtus Pro have a chance to get space. Rally comes out. Jaywu still has Blade. Again, Virtus Pro playing it patient. They come flying in, bash in, and Jaywu's going to spot the opportunity. Ray in response as they try and get Rally value. So patient from Virtus Pro. We'll use one ult. Force one of yours. You'll try and punish us, but we're already going to be safe. And then as soon as you commit in too far, Jaywu's going to pull the Blade. Punishes them. The Ray makes short work of them. 3 minutes 40 seconds as Virtus Pro threaten the full cap. Vestler peeking onto the point. T1 nearly have the Primal and the Blade and the Overclock. Virtus Pro did burn all of their bank for that. Maybe the Ray was overkill, but it felt like they were all in there. But Jay was going to get one pick. They lose Vestler in main, so that's going to stop them really bullying the point. Can't make this motion without Vestler. And T1, that's an important fight for them because they do it without using the ults. Vestler's actually going to swap onto the Orisa here. So Winston has a lot of opportunities to play against the Sigma, bubble off a lot of those heals, stop the Sigma, doing what Vestler was able to do against Donghack on first point, where he just bullies the Doom out of position the entire time. Going to be hard to do that on the Winston, so instead Vestler's going to go to the Orisa. Can be a bit more independent, anchor point, as Virtus Pro swing main here. Don't have any ults just yet, so they're just going to try and move the payload as far as they can. Bully Donghack out of position. Donghack makes a move. Slide back from Shockwave. Fixer gets taken down. Donghack now has the Primal. He's dropped onto the Sojourn. Shockwave is going to try and slide out, but no escape. Easy kill for Donghack in the end. Proud through with the overclock in main. And they'll get this clean up. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. And T1 have done a very good job of stabilizing on third here, and stabilizing in a way where their ult bank has really been preserved. Nano, Primal, Blade, all available. Lots of combos. Fixer is going to have the Rally. But a Nano Primal and Nano Blade can still just cut through that Rally. 2 minutes left on the clock. That's 3.5 minutes we've been held on third already if you're Virtus Pro. Vestler's trying to walk up onto the high ground. Nano Blade comes into the back. Rally comes out. Fixer runs away. Torpedoes are there. Whip shot. Just about enough. He's given him the juke. Unbelievable. Fixer's given him a run around. Fixer lives the Nano Blade, but Donghack's got the Primal to run in. He still killed Fixer, and Donghack is still making it work. Difficult juggle onto the Juno. He can't finish that one off. And they're going to have to go back. T1 regrouping on coast. Jaewoo needs a little bit of help here. Doesn't have his deflect until now, but he's getting zapped as well. Whip shot as well for Ray, pushing back out. And Donghak has no cooldowns. Can they kill Dongers? They can. But Dong has fallen. The rally from Skewed doesn't do anything. Blade to keep chasing. Skewed cannot escape now onto the Sojin. Oh, just out on a sliver of HP, Proud. Donghak's gone Ball to try and stall it out, but Victor's got a late kill onto Viper. Overclock from Shockwave to try and finish it. Ball coming through on point. Just need to finish this Ball off as quickly as possible. Half HP already. Donghak goes for a reset. Anna onto the high ground. Vigi's trying to clutch from behind. Proud falls on the Venture. Everyone's getting cleaned up. 54 seconds left on the clock. What a play from Fixer. Nano Blade beats Rally. But not if you've got no ankles. Not if you've got no ankles. Yeah, here's the nice little step back in. This is when VP would really just in really clean fights. And the raid probably does feel overkill in the end. I think actually Jaewoo's Blade feels really reasonable in terms of spotting the opportunity, but the Ray feels heavy, and obviously this is... They then get hold for, what was it, 3.5 minutes? 4.5 minutes maybe in the end? That was... Part of that was because they just had no ultimates for such a long period of time. Now Virtus Pro going to roll out in a slightly different version. It's going to be Bap, Ilari, and Mei for key changes. We'll see what T1 choose to do in place of that. Donghak's threatening a Zarya right now. We have seen Zarya play into Sigma. What you can do with this version of the comp, if Donghak commits to it, is you keep bubbling your Genji in, and your Genji almost works, doing a lot of the same job that Winston will be, and then you get energy on your Zarya to walk into the Sigma. Circuit Royale, long sight line, so actually he's just going to go Winston in the end. Just going to go Winston in the end. Key timings for T1 are going to be that nano timing. Bap, Ilari, Mei, all a little bit more durable. Proud over onto the Sojin as well. T1 are just going to try and bully Vesper out of position. They're actually going Anna Juno with this as well. So, a slightly more powerful ult bank. I very much expect Donghak just to be doing quite safe jumps. Just trying to bubble off for Sigma on a lot of these occasions. Bully cart space back, build for Nano. He gets walled off though, so Donghak's in a lot of trouble. They can't find the kill, but they force Donghak back. And if they can just keep their ground, Virtus Pro, they'll be happy. Now, Donghak goes again top left. Little bit of a step back from Gala. Bubble onto the high ground, but Vessler's found a pick in main. Now he turns for the rock, and Donghak has to try and get out. Vessler wants to clear this Winston out. He's zoning the backline as best he can. 1 HP on Skewed. He's given him the jukes. The wall comes out. They're trying to wall Donghak out. Lamp was used in all of that as well. So don't quite find the kill, and Skewed is getting very close in his nano. No great ults to respond with here, Virtus Pro, so they're just going to have to try and kite it as best they can. You can see they're given a little bit of space already. Only Vessler holding forward. Donghak onto the high ground again. Proud slides aggressively. Nice pick from Shockwave. No nano coming now, and Virtus Pro can retake his space. Vessler's going high ground with the boys, and they can start clearing T1 out. Vigi nearly has Raze, so to be a little bit careful, T1 don't just try and turn it here if they get that ult. Icebox been forced onto Jaewoo, Vessler onto the low ground, and T1 have preserved their high ground position here, so a missed opportunity as Donghak is going to be back and ready to go. Ray available to turn the corner. Support ops available for Virtus Pro, but they're just not as good. Ray comes around the corner. Captive Sun goes out. Gala gets deleted by those powered up torpedoes. Jaewoo dies on point. Vesta's going to move forward as well. Window in the back from Fixer, hoping for a trade. No trades to come. The Ray beats both support ults from Virtus Pro. Gonna go on to Lucio, just try and get everyone back a little bit quicker. Amping everyone forward so they can race forward for the touch, but they're going to have to push into a potential Nano Blade, an Overclock, a Primal partway through. It's Lucio Juno, so they're back quick, but this is going to be a very squishy backline. Vessler starts with an early flux, looking for the backline, trying to kill Nana. Skewed down to half HP. Blizzard out underneath as well. Can they turn the kill? Nana onto Viper. He's been forced back. They've killed Skewed, but Proud has found one in return. Donghak is 1 HP. Doesn't have Primal yet. If Donghak falls, it's going to be brutal. Blade comes through from Viper. He's looking for the Sigma. Vessler in all sorts of trouble. Gets taken down. Viper gets 2 in the end. He kills it. Shockwave has to commit to point. Donghak has the Primal now. Gala's trying to tip-tap point. Shockwave finds a kill. Donghak has Primal. Vigi is still boxing him, but Cap's gone through. And it will go the way of T1, but nearly there for Virtus Pro. Good Blade from Viper to save him. There was a moment there where Donghak was on 89% primal, super low. If they found the kill in that moment, then all of a sudden it might look a little bit different. But in the end, Viper gets good work with that blade, enough to get T1 over the line. Donghak has the primal for this next fight. Shockwave has the overclock, which means really just going to be stuck potentially trading those ults. The overclock should be able to keep most of them safe. He's going to pop the overclock early as well. Dink Nair, pressure onto Donghak. He's low. Donghak really doesn't want to use his primal. Shockwave had a little look for him. Can't find anything else. Virtus.pro push forward, but find no kills. Now Donghak is coming back, using the primal on his own terms. He's trying to separate them, but Vessler's walked forward. He's killed Vigi before Ray. Viper's still going. Vessler dies, playing aggressively in there. Donghak is zoned for backline. Can he find any more? Late kills here would be brutal. Right click will be nailed. Gala in trouble as well. Has to slide out of that. Fixer is low. Donghak's hitting the right clicks, but not quite enough damage to finish him off. And Virtus.pro going to have to do the retake. The kill onto Vigilante has helped equalize the Ray charges. So it'll be a Ray v Ray fight. But you have to remember, the Ray, both teams fighting in Ray, it will be better for the Orisa than it will be the Winston. Javelin comes out, forces for Brig back. Ray comes out from Gala. Now Shockwave deletes skewed. Eyes on the Juno as well. The Juno is low, but there's a Winston behind him. Donghak comes in for the slam. Proud has gone deep too. Donghak and Proud are still behind. Proud has fallen, but Donghak is still there. Orisa on point though. Javelin in the face. Genji on Genji. Viper gets one kill, but it's a 2v1. Fortify is used by Vessler, and he just punches him. One-handed gaming from Vessler. I think you all know why. And they get an important hold. Now they can get their respawns. They have to worry a little bit about the C9 and the cart here, but they can start holding forward and try and make this walk up a bit difficult for them. Terra Surge Blade available and a beat in the back pocket. They have DPS ults T1, but they need a lot from their DPS. Might just have to try and use one of the ults early. Try and force out a beat, set up one of their other DPS ults. There's going to be an overclock first. Walking forward is Vessler. Terra Surge catches, pulls Proud in. They're pushing for the kill. Half HP. Jwoo pulls the blade, takes down Proud. But Viper's pulled his own blade. Jwoo's trying to avoid that one. Jwoo has to go so far behind. Donghak hunts him down. Vessler continues to anchor cart, but he needs his respawns quick. He's going to give a little bit of space. Oh, Fixer's going to die. Vessler can get the touch, but it's going to be so difficult. His team is flooding back. Donghak's going to go bubble off his heels, zone the backline, and they're just going to try and focus down Vessler. He is an Orisa, though. He's got some torpedoes, so he's living a while. The cart's going to get pushed in, though. Jwoo back onto point, just trying to find a trade if he can in this situation. Donghak did use Primal and all of that to make sure they finish second. Obviously, once you get that far, it's so scary to get reset and have to redo all of second again. So, over-investing to make sure you hit the snowball. Not the end of the world. Donghak's going to go to Orisa as well since he used that ult. Fixer back on Lucio. Bit of mystery heroes. As Virtus.pro get onto the comp they want. Remember, back on Lijiang Tower, and this was a big period of success for T1. Chance for Vessler to go back onto Sigma, but Fixer's just out there in the open. Proud nails the shot. Don't give this guy an opportunity. Vessler's now going to be forced out in this corner, has to try and disengage. Heinen from Shockwave relieves the pressure for a second, but Skewed is coming with that rally soon. No more ults for Virtus.pro just yet. They have to buy time for Gala to get this Ray, but Proudy nails another shot coming around the corner. Now the pressure onto Vessler. Gala is desperate for this Ray. Skewed has the rally to keep pushing. Gala is 3% away. He needs the Ray like right now. Vigi has a Ray of his own as well. Gala drops it. Vigi matches. Viper nearly has the blade. Shockwave coming back on the Surge, and Vessler is so low. Can't play in it. Viper kills two. Now, all over them, they're going to complete the map, and T1 even looking for a faster time bank. 29-second advantage as we go into an overtime round. And again, it's tight, it's scrappy. With the number of times Proud is able to find these key openings, it's making a huge difference. You see, there's still quite a lot of situations there where Donghak is just playing to zone the backline. Try and cut off those heals for long enough so they can clear Vessler. The Orisa is better at that than the Sigma. And are they just going to take the Orisa mirror here? T1 are going to start on the Orisa. I imagine Vessler might just go Sigma. Yeah, when he sees this Orisa, this is, if anyone remembers Overwatch League Season 6, once we got to the Grand Finals, This is where someone in Florida had all that success. Oh, you want to play Orisa? We're going to play Sigma. We can use the rock. You can use the rock to interrupt the spin. That's the sort of main cooldown trade. So if the Orisa tries to spin into a position, you can threaten the rock. The Orisa can use gold to protect itself from the rock. But then the Orisa's just use both of her cooldowns and her ability to do the cooldown cycle now. The Orisa wants to. Just doesn't exist. We've seen Vessler do this to many an Orisa before. And he's now going to try and do it to Donghack right now. Only 1 minute to work with Virtus Pro, so still not a lot of room for error. And you see T1 immediately just trying to play the slow angle. Worry about that cooldown trade at the front. Going to concede a lot of space in his back corner. Proud's got full rail, though. We've seen him start the fight with opening picks time and time again. Nothing on this first one, though. They keep walking forward. Viper threatening from above. Dash back from Fixer, but Skewed hits the whip shot. Remember, everyone has level 3 perks as we go into overtime. Viper pushes forward to fight the Genji, and Skewed again! Whip shot master! They're all over Vessler right now. 10 seconds left on the clock. And can they even get a touch here? It might need to be a swap or something. Shockwave is destined to die late here. And Skewed has done so well for him. There's just no touch, yeah. Well-timed fight. They give him all the space, and it's all Skewed. Victor walks forward, trying to be aggressive, wants to play on that Orisa, find the timing. But that's a full hold, and that is, I mean, it's one fight. I mean, T1 only have a minute and a half, so it's still not a lot of time, but Virtus Pro didn't have a lot of room for error on the attack, and now they've got zero room. They have to hold this first corner. Has to be perfect. They have to pick for comp as well, because they're happy to play Sigma into the Orisa. If they start on Sigma, expect Donghack just to start Winston. It's a bit easier through YouTube. It's a bit scuffed flow, to be honest with you. But the YouTube stream is normally better. If you type !SOOP, it will link you to the YouTube stream. The YouTube gives you a little bit more control, but it's hard to get it. It's hard to get it just right. We had to kind of rush the solution this morning, so it's scuffed for sure. And Virtus Pro are going to play it safe, not starting on the Sigma, starting on the Orisa instead. And wait, Donghack is going to play the other side of the equation. He's anticipating it. Have they seen the Orisa already, maybe? Obviously, T1 have won the Orisa version of this matchup as well, so they could just take the Orisa. Korean casters enjoying the piano solo. Proud's going to go Bastion out of it. It's a spawn hold for Virtus Pro. They want to try and squeeze 2 fights out. A TP to flip the map, so Vessel's going to make sure that payload doesn't move. They've got their Lintome explosives in spawn. Proud's got nothing to shoot at. Shockwave does, though. Takes Skew's head right off his shoulders. Now the pressure comes in from Donghack. Javelin is a miss. Shockwave needs for full pocket. There's a Sim TP, though, from Viper. The chaos is opening up. The most important thing is that payload does not move. Lintome explosives, and Proud will finish this one off. Need to make sure they die on point, Virtus Pro. Can't afford anything else. Jawu is on the Sim. They all die on point. T1 can flood forward. 3 on point. TP forward to the high ground. One more fight. Sim Bastion versus Sim Sojourn. Can we even touch? Have they just miscalculated? Sim TP, they're going to run for it. Yeah, they should be okay, actually. They should be okay. They're going to be forced to take the fight immediately. Fixer's gone on to Anna to try and find the clutch. Walking up to the corner. Needs to make their move now. Vessler spins onto point. He's now got no choice but to stay here. Sim turret's coming up. All of T1 trying to swing him. Shockwave looking for a rail. Can't connect anything. A pick would go a long way. Now we're entering the final 10 seconds. It all comes out in this fight. Gold to block for sleep. Onto the backline. Nate comes out. Vessler dies on point. Someone else needs to touch. Shockwave finds a kill, but Donghack is there. Full beam sim wall from Viper. Jawu has a sim wall too. He does it, but Terror Surge in. It goes through the sim wall. And Donghack will finish it. T1 takes Circuit Royale from Virtus Pro. Huge consequences in the series now to lose one of their most powerful map picks. Was the spawn hold the correct play? I was just thinking the same thing. I don't think so. I think you just play for... You have to win 2 fights. If you win the first fight, you'll have slight advantage for the next fight. The problem with the spawn hold is you play for time, and they did get 2 fights, right? But what happens is inevitably you lose that fight, either in an ugly way or a clean way, but you always end up just a little bit behind on ult charge. And to be fair, the way they had to contest it was so scuffed anyway. You know, like when Vesta spins onto point, and then it's like, where's your cover, Vest? You've got no choice but to stand here. You're just fucked. I think if they just played, you know that first corner? I mean, I can't show you one thing. But you know what, Circuit Royale, you've got like the first corner, right? Where we sort of see, like if they just said, this is our hold on this corner, and just commit to that, I think that's the way to do it. And then you have to win 2 fights, but you get 2 good fights for you, essentially. Obviously, trades are still scary, everything like that, etc., etc. But I think that would feel better. That would feel better. I think part of it is the spawn hold on Circuit Royale is just not good. Like, there's no real ways to... You compare that to something like Havana or Route 66, where we see a lot of teams spawn hold as well. The nice thing about no spawn holds is you can actually win. You can actually win the fight cleanly from no spawn hold positions. It's hard to break. But you can't. On Circuit Royale, it's so hard to win the first point spawn hold defense without at least somebody trading. So, yeah. Really not. I don't think it's as high value as these other maps. So I would have, personally, I would have just taken the corner fight twice. T1 were all well equipped to stop the spawn hold as well. Yeah, you saw they immediately TP and flip the map, then they have their Bastion staying spawn, get an off angle. Get the overtime highlights now, skewed with those key whip shots. And yeah. So I guess something can beat Vesta Synchron after all, yeah. Well, what has been the biggest surprise so far? We're only 2 maps in, but the biggest surprise is the Orisa comp from T1. You think once, if Virtus Pro, like on paper, right, on paper, if you said, hey, Virtus Pro are going to find themselves in an Orisa mirror against T1 a bunch. Are you happy with that? Will you take that? I'd be like, absolutely, I'd take that. Let's do that. But, yeah, but it's not gone well for them at all. Best of 7 for this, so still plenty of room to end of the series. We're not at series point or anything like that, but obviously that is one of the big. This is one of the big map picks. Burn for Virtus Pro. One is about to get punched. Hold on, let me grab a drink. Talk about. Where do they go next? I mean, I guess interesting. What they want to try and do is probably force play a map where T1 would play dive, but it's not the greatest dive map, but they can play Diva. Maybe that's where they've had the most success. We'll see. Let me grab a drink and then we can theory craft a little bit. Oh. The time for theory is over. We have the facts. Runa Sappy for the next map. So, obviously, very much could just be Orisa. Okay, Brig ban implies we're going to try and empower D.Va, but T1 haven't banned the D.Va yet, right? Yeah, so we're just going to ban it now. Which kind of just sends us back in an Orisa direction. What ban have they used? Was it the Winston ban or the Ana ban? Hold on, I need to... Is the SOOP thing updated? Yeah, VP banned Ana, so... Alright, sorry. I was reading something. Lock it back in. Runa's happy, Brig ban. Okay, D.Va ban in response, so... Alright, Vesta's just going to try and play Ramatra, so slightly different look here. Don't expect Fixer to stay on this Zen. It was a little bit too greedy. Crank for volume for myself. And alright. Oh no, he is going to play the Zen. Well, this seems like this is a mighty gamble from Virtus Pro. Into the Hazard as well. Feels like Fixer's life is going to be an absolute premium here. Gala's got a lot of pocketing to do between Fixer and Shockwave. Early swing. Aggression comes in. Hazard dive. Shockwave gets killed by the torpedoes. That torpedo and Hazard swing, always so deadly. They're trying to turn it back onto Donghak now, but it's Vessler who's taking all the damage. Viper will dash through, looking for more. Deflex out. And where is Fixer? Fixer has lived, but I don't know if I actually want him to live here. Let's see. Gonna be Orisa now with this Zen Juno. Alright, I mean the Zen Juno, it's such a greedy and squishy backline here. If they can keep him alive, it's possible. But double speed, Hazard, Genji, they're gonna be flying us in this backline. Fixer's starting on the high ground now, trying to put the maximum distance between. Vessler will anchor the point, stopping at the choke. Now they're going to speed ring through, looking for that push. They're going to swing wide. Double slide from Proud all over him. And look at that. Donghak has deleted the Zen, deleted the Sojourn. Vessler anchors point. Jaewu can trade one. Dive now onto Gala. He's trying to get on the high ground. He gets just around the corner, but there's no heals for the front line for a while. Vessler needs to play his own life, but he's all out of cooldowns. And now Wall will finish the job. Donghak's going to chase everyone out. And Virtus Pro are not surviving the first impact from T1. Skew's about to have a beat. Donghak getting close in his downpour. Checkpoint has already been secured and capped, and the animation's gone through, so this is now even more meters on the board for T1. No ults yet for Virtus Pro. And they are getting rattled here. Full rail for Shockwave. Dink onto Donghak. Forces him back a little bit. Jaewu trying to fight through the house area. But T1 are happy to slow it down. You see T1 here. They did the same thing on the fight before. Slow down the fight. Force the Zen to come closer, then push them. Now they beat push. They are all over this Sojourn. Where can they go? Jaewu's found a trade, and they're trying to steal Robot a little bit. But Viper is back to stop it in a flash. Fixer's trying to play the long angle. Terror Surge round the corner. Ray comes through defensively. Vessler nails the spear. Skew taken out. Vessler's trying to turn this. Gala goes down. Transcendence comes through on point. They want to clutch. Javelin is good again, but not quite enough follow-up damage. Vessler's going to regroup on the Robot onto the corner. Respawns are flooding back. Slightly quicker for Virtus Pro because of where the fight's taken place. And they stabilize. But they had to throw a lot into that. T1 are going to be able to repush. Double DPS Soul and the downpour. Gala still getting up to his first ray. Viper comes round looking for a key target onto this Zen. Fixer's going to try and run away. Blade comes in, little kickback, deflect there. Fixer shoots himself and he just holds the deflect. Fixer gambled. He thought he was going to take another slash. Viper playing with him. Vessler finds a trade, but they are losing this fight, Virtus Pro. And Vessler and Jaewu, they're trying to group behind, but they can't find any more trades. Jaywoo can preserve his position behind at least. T1 on the front foot. No ults just yet. But they can play this slow. They can wait for someone to make a move. We get the swap now from Virtus Pro. Kiri, Lucio. A more survivable backline, especially with the Sojourn as well. But 82 meters down by the time these swaps come in. Shockwave nearly has the overclock. Will be the next ult up for either team. Slash comes in and the wall, but Shockwave is well and truly out of there. Viper's committed quite deep. He's found Fixer on the flank too. Now he can turn his attention back to the Orisa, but an overclock from Shockwave to reclaim the space. Sliding forward, looking for another kill. Only Donghack to shoot at. Will put a lot of damage into him. Donghack leaps in for the kill. The Shockwave just pounds that damage through him. Now they come flooding in. More pocket. And Viper's found two, actually. Wait, just when he thought it was over. It's not over for Viper. Fixer is back in the fight, but he's just stuck fighting this Genji again. Proud hits the shot into Jaywoo. T1 are going to keep the payload moving forward. They lost Donghack, but now they have beat for this next fight. Jaywoo's going over to Genji. Virtus Pro. The deficit gets bigger. Double support ult soon for T1, so it's going to get harder. Vessler probably needs to play for trades with this Terror Surge. They come through. Shockwave is deleted. Terror Surge now to try and find something. Javelin is out, but full pocket onto Proud. Vessler trying to hit every shot, but there's so much pocket. Jaywoo follows it up. He kills Vigilante. Hit right back by Viper. They're still losing this fight, but at least a trade makes the next retake a little bit easier. Vigi was the player with the Ray as well, so T1 might just slow it down to get Vigilante back. Virtus Pro get a bit of space to work with, but they still don't have any ults. The dangers of swapping. It has made the fights feel a bit more even. But now Kitsune Rush versus Ray Blades. Oh, Shockwave, what a good time to get an opening pick. Exactly what Virtus Pro needs to negate some of this ult disadvantage they're in. Donghack's going to leap forward, but Fixer reads that one well. Lucio Genji flooding forward. Stud is going so deep for this. He's taking a lot of damage, as has Donghack. They're all so low, but Virtus Pro, there come the kills. All three in quick succession. Just need to avoid any trades here versus this Genji. Viper's taken care of. And alright, Virtus Pro, they finally arrived on Runasapi. They won a fight almost 6 minutes deep into this map. It's 137 meters and a centimeter they've got to try and come back from. Kitsune Rush beat to do it with. T1 have a mighty bank as well. Need to get this beat really from Fixer. Kitsune Rush is going to be traded with for Ray. Fixer needs this beat for the blade. Downpour comes out. Fixer has the beat now. He casts it. Shockwave doesn't get it though. That blade is all over him. Viper gets one player advantage. Jaywoo has the blade, but he's half. Can he really use it in this situation? Player down. They're still scrapping. Jaywoo is still low as Proud's overclock goes off. Looking for a kill. Jaywoo goes down. Definitely can't use the blade now. And they're going to die on point, Virtus Pro. Lose the fight. Double support ult for them. Double DPS and Ray and Downpour. So T1 invested. It's a 2-for-4 trade. It's not the end of the world for Virtus Pro. But it's not really shifted the deficit much. We're down to 125 meters. Skewed coming back with the beat. Will be the answer to a couple of these ultimates from Virtus Pro. But if you're Virtus Pro, we've seen them play these situations before. Use one ult to force the beat. There we go. Overclock to force the beat. Now a chance for Jaywoo Vessler to be the finisher. Here's the Terror Surge. Stop some of the aggression. Doesn't find any kill, but Javelin onto Proud afterwards. But Donghack will not leave Shockwave alone. Vigilante's just swung in with him. Vessler has found a kill onto the Sojourn. Rotating back round, they try to steal the cart. T1 come to match it now. Jaywoo has the blade if they need it. Gonna pull it onto the Genji now. Dashes through, over dashes a bit, and Viper still has deflect, but Jaywoo's gonna keep on slashing. Now just pounding damage into Donghack. Donghack still finds a trade. They're winning this fight, Virtus Pro, but it's not clean, it's not pretty. They still actually need to deal with Donghack. He's going to get all the way out, reset with his team, and T1 can take this fight quickly again. Vesta's half HP, has to fortify, needs to be careful. They need to regroup here, Virtus Pro. They can't afford to die late. Vesta's going to pick up a Mega. He is on the run. They're chasing him. Donghack is on the case. Vestler needs so much help. Oh, it's such a painfully late death from Vestler. Wall. Jaywoo gets just around it in time. 2 minutes left on the clock. And T1, everything is going their way. Beat and Kitsune Rush coming up soon for Virtus Pro. Will have support ult advantage if they get to both of those. Vigil will have the Ray in time. Donghack's Downpour, likely to be the difference maker if he finds a connect. Javelin as they try and come forward, denying Donghack's aggression. T1 are actually going to slow it down, not commit to this push. Virtus Pro successfully held their ground. Now they have a Kitsune rush and the Beat to push with Beat comes through first. Downpour onto that push. Locks down the Genji. Viper kills that one. But Downpour does so much versus the Beat. But Ray keeps most of them alive on point. They do lose Proud. That's just part of the hit scan's life in a lot of these comps is you're going to be the primary target. You will be in big trouble. And now as we enter the final minute, T1 are threatening a full push. They have double DPS ult. Gala has Kitsune rush. Vessler has Terror Surge. T1 are going to wait. Group up as 5 and go again. Happy to bleed for time off the clock. Happy to make it last fight. Virtus Pro, they're running out of time. T1 slowing it down at the choke. Jwoo and Fixer coming through. Vessler with a Terror Surge. Nail skewed straight away. Pushing forward. Want to make this a clean one if they can. Avoid trade. Songhack's just going to stay on payload as best he can. And they make it a clean one. Only the Terror Surge used for that as well. So efficient from Virtus Pro. They need efficient fights because they need to win so many fights in a row. And it's not time to call it a comeback yet because it is a long way back for Virtus Pro. And as we start to enter overtime, any trade that T1 can find with any of their ults is going to make the next fight even harder for Virtus Pro. They've still not got checkpoint. They've still not got it around the first corner. T1 have DPS ults to throw into this. Gala can use the Kitsune rush to push for choke. But these DPS ults, so hard to deal with. There we go. Proud is double sliding in. They're going to try and flip the map. The boot back. Beat comes through from Skewed. They're turning on to Vessler. Not the highest value blade, really. Vessler's taken a lot, though. Use these cooldowns and the DPS ults. They finish off Vess. They've got control of the robot as well. It's moving away from them. They have to go forward. The robot has been stolen. Runa Sappy has been taken. And T1 are 3 maps up. Damn. The Zen Gambit at the start didn't work. Left him in a really big hole. In your opinion, what needs to happen for the rest of the world to catch up with Korea? Oh, hold on. Message scrolled. Maybe even to the point of Korean teams having imports. What, force them to have imports? You will employ these guys. They will play. And they will ruin your chances. There's no easy answer. There's no easy answer. Overwatch DEI, yeah. Feels particularly rough to say a minimum 2 Korean players for all the Korean teams. We need to spread the wealth here. But there's no easy answer to your question. The depth of... Oh, thank you, Dragon of Miller. Appreciate the 7 months. Ooh, I'll get to that question in a second. So in terms of like the other regions catching, it's really hard. I think stuff like what we have in EMEA, where we have a lot of Korean import talent, does help raise the level. Not just because, obviously, we have some of the Korean players, so we've stolen some of the talent, but in general, the quality of teams will help improve the players. Like, I think one thing we had a big benefit of in Overwatch League is even as an entirely Western team on London, what we had is we had the scrim pool. All the teams we were playing against were these top Korean players. So we had the chance to learn, we had the chance to close the gap. And I think that's why, you know, you see a lot of teams benefit and play their best Overwatch last year at the Esports World Cup after they had the Korea boot camp. Like, if you go back and listen to any sort of interview or podcast or like Danny or Kasaurus did after that, they all sing the praises of how much they learned during the Korea boot camp. So practice environment is key, is really what I'm getting to. And it's hard to solve that problem when you talk about Korea is just it just has a better scrim environment. But some of that you can manipulate, obviously, with like where you have your boot camps or where you have your team house. Yeah, even the players in ranked, yeah, because part of the reason the Korean players all end up so good is because their ranked is also... The standard of play is just higher all along. So to be good in Korea, you have to beat harder opposition. If you beat harder opposition or play against them more regularly, then you also improve at a faster rate. That's what I think we benefited from in London playing the Overwatch League. I think it's why... Do you remember in the Overwatch League, the last few seasons where we had the Western region and we had the APAC region? And what happened is all the best teams were actually the Western teams just because of kind of just how the money fell, essentially. But what happened there is because the best teams and the best players were in the Western side, what happens is that Western side gets even better. So what happens when you have the two regions, when you isolate them and they have their own scrim bubbles, if you already have the best players to start with and best teams to start with, the gap actually gets bigger over time. And it's really hard for APAC to close that. And I think essentially now we go to this regional system in OWCS, we're going to see the same problem. So I know that's not really a solution, but I think that's more just a diagnosis of the problem. But I think that's maybe hopefully that explains why the problem is so hard to solve. Oh, add Alex asked, Plat Chatter take, but what are they even doing? It's like they're just sitting AFK waiting for T1 to take the aggression or one-shot their backline. Yes, I don't know. It felt like what they wanted to happen was to basically bait T1 to be aggressive onto, say, Shockwave, leaving Fixer free to influence with discords and damage. But the problem is T1 actually, like, a pretty smart response in terms of they played it quite slow. And because they won that first fight and had early lead, essentially, they put the impetus over to Virtus Pro of, hey, we've got the lead. You have to come and push us a bit. So you see T1 sit at a choke, play quite slow, play quite patiently. And eventually Virtus Pro, they have to move someone forward. They move Fixer forward. And as soon as Fixer moves forward, the trigger is pulled. T1 nail the dive. And if the Zen is too close, then it's just too hard to pocket. I think T1 played it well. The comp felt like a gamble out of spawn as well. We talked about how squishy it would be. But I think that was the idea for Virtus Pro, but I think that's also, it's a really hard style, I think, even on Runa Sappy. Maybe they had more success in scrims or something like this, but yeah, it didn't work out. We go Suravasa against T1. I mean, what's the map pool again? What were their other options? Winston banned from Virtus Pro. So they want to try and force the D.Va matchup here. D.Va ban is off the cards. Because what, it would be like Kings Row or Blizzard World? Do any of those really feel better? Because I feel like they would just play Dive, right? They would just play Dive. And it's Kings Row and Blizzard World, I think, both better maps for it. So Suravasa may be the best of the options they have available. The D.Va ban has been burnt already by T1, right? So now D.Va is open. So I think what we're going to get is Donghak probably going to play Hazard or Ball. Vessler going to play D.Va. Remember, it feels like a while ago now, but do you remember that Lijiang Tower, the very first round, when we were full of hope? They beat the Winston on Night Market, right? They beat it. Isn't Suravasa in New Junk City? No, the way it works is there's two hybrid maps. Blizzard World, Kings Row, and Suravasa are basically grouped together as one mode. So those were the three options they had. New Junk City not in the pool, so pretty limited options. Alright, so Lucio banned from T1 on the other side. Want to try and force like a Juno Brig or something like that. Basically something that maybe makes the dive a little bit harder. Donghak maybe actually going to go with Rissa. Wait, Virtus Pro feel like they've got a good read here, actually. They're going to start on the Sigma, Bap, and Lari. Yeah, okay. This is a slow pokey first point as well. I think VP have won the read out of spawn, the mind games. We're maybe expecting a bit of Hazard. But Virtus Pro are going to commit to a much greedier comp, a really vintage Virtus Pro comp this, isn't it? And this first point is going to work very well for Virtus Pro's comp. Probably, if anything, actually the strongest point on Suravasa for their comp. They can play wide, they can play slow. Anytime they want to force point, Donghak is going to have such a hard time. Skewed already being forced to TP to help Viper on this flank. Nat Kiri Genji is going to have to try and do so much to bust open and fight these flank areas. Donghak's walking forward trying to get onto the Ash here. He's gone so far. Where are we going, Dongers? He's still fighting. He's got full pocket. He's made so much space. He will get traded eventually, but he gets the kill onto Shockwave. I don't know if it's worth it, though. T1 are going to try and steal point as Virtus.pro repush. Vessler is, you know, he's running, he's floating as fast as he can. So they will get first flip T1, but Virtus.pro will quickly regain the space. And you see, we talk about how, oh, okay, Viper, don't shoot the deflect. Vixen gets taken down late. It's a little bit awkward for Virtus.pro to deal with because they've got no speed or anything. So Vixen will be a long way back. He's actually going to go over to Brig here. First time they played Brig Alari, it was something that Smash didn't anticipate. Didn't want them to do it. Donghak's actually swapped ball and he's trying to spawn camp for Brig now. Who's an eternal battle between a Brig and a ball. Eventually Donghak will give up a ghost and let Fixel regroup with his team on point. Earlier ults here for Virtus.pro, I think, for the most part. Gala tries to shift out of that one, but they just take the kill before it happens. Now moving towards the backline, Donghak. Bumblebeed up. Rotating behind, Jaywoo's going to die, and now all of a sudden, trying to deal with this. The Brig and the Ash, separated from Vessler, he'll fall. They just find it, and some of this is just, you know, they just go for their first engage, the dive. Need to be able to survive those ones. Jaywoo's going to swap onto Tracer, chance to be a bit more independent. Wouldn't be surprised if Gala maybe makes a swap after this Captive Sun too. But that retake, just a bit too easy for T1. Didn't even burn any of their ults. Now they've got Ray, Blade, Kitsune Rush, Blade, powerful combos available. Captive Sun is not going to solve this. Flux maybe can. Flux maybe can. If Vessler can hit a good Flux, he can maybe stop a lot of this aggression with a Blade or a Ray. But Viper's already stuck into the backline. Do they know? I think Shockwave knows now. It's coming. Blade is going to be pulled. Deflect. Shockwave shoots himself in the face. Gets the Mega. No escape after that. Captive Sun to turn the kill onto Viper. He dashes into Skewed and kills Skewed. Gala gets both. The Captive Sun does so much, but Vessler needs help on point. He's dropped the Flux. Vessler's Flux goes off. They get the kill. So much value from the ults Virtus.pro. Gala and Vessler keeping them in it. And now the backline from Virtus.pro holds strong on point. Vessler's going to go on to the Diva now. 3 maps down, but first point looking good. Trying to hold a little bit close, make this touch as hard as possible. They are on ball though, so T1 have a real opportunity to touch. Shockwave can drop a Bob on point in response to these mines. Mines onto point now, and Gala's going to be pressured off the angle. Bob is going to be thrown out by Shockwave. Anchor in point now, but we'll just be clearing mines more than anything. They're trying to force the objective. Overclock comes back in from Proud. Vesta's trying to neutralize as much of that as possible. Proud will get one opportunity. Doesn't connect on it, though. Proud's going to keep going forward. Jaywoo's cleaned up Viper on point. The Cap's gone through during all of this. They mess up a touch. We were on Proud's POV, but you have to feel Donghak Viper between them. They could have stabilized that touch, but Virtus.pro take the first round. Comp looking very different now. Fixer. Little wave to the grave of Skewed. And Virtus.pro. Got a reverse sweep, but it's a decent way to start. Hazard is now the choice from Donghak. Virtus.pro going to get onto point first. Taking the high ground here as a team T1. Want to swing aggressively. Proud's got full rail coming around. Looking for an opportunity. Fixer stuck in the corner. Donghak gets that kill. Rest of the team rotated to point, but Fixer didn't, so stranded behind there. Jaywoo finds a kill, though. Pulse Bomb is good. Jaywoo finds 2 kills, but backline's dead. Jaywoo moment. Donghak dives deep. Will turn the kill onto Shockwave. He actually gets a kill onto Gala as well, but Jaywoo has done enough that they will be able to get the first flip. And all of a sudden, few things going right for Virtus.pro. Clutch from Jaywoo saves that one. Lots of trades, though, and T1 have a faster comp with Juno. So they'll be back on point first. Vesta's going to try and delay that cap as long as possible. Full Matrix, juggling the touch. Fixer there with him. Gala nearly has the Captive Sun. No ults to speak of for T1, and Gala's actually got such an aggressive angle. Forces all of T1 forward. Back jump from Shockwave. Donghak will clear the pylon. Now they have a lot of the angles. Gala nearly has the Captive Sun as well. Vesta's gone in deep. He's lost his mech for it as well. Maybe a bit mistimed. They didn't have it yet. They have killed Vigilante. Captive Sun is out. Doesn't actually find the connect there. Joey avoids it. A miss from Gala is 1 HP. The pylon is out. They're still fighting on point. Jaywoo battling away. But the Hazard's so hard to deal with now without their Diva. Shockwave onto the high ground, but Donghak, he's climbing. He is all over him. Half HP. Smothering him. Matrix is there, but it can't block the slash. He'll get the kill. If they get a late trade, it's worth it. Donghak considering the ult. He's considering the ult. Just as well he didn't use it there. It wouldn't have saved him. And now tank advantage. Vessler can start forcing the objective. Full pocket onto Vessler. Scoot's going to take the touch. He has Rally. Pulse Bombs short from Jwoo. Virtus Pro waiting for a few more. Scoot's going to start it. Bash onto the Diva immediately. Pack for Viper. Now forcing the Diva out as well. But Vessler's killed Vigilante. Vigilante has been made mincemeat of the background. That's now no Ray in this fight for T1. And a key source of their healing. Proud is getting marked by Vessler again. He's going to find an opportunity. Misses onto Fixer. Jwoo's pressuring now as well. Gala in the air. Gala gets round the corner. He lives. Vessler's cleaning up the kills on the low ground. He's desperately trying to pocket his team. Shockwave wants to push. He's trying to go forward. They're piling onto them. The T1 backline live for now, but Vessler, and here comes Fixer for Rally the Bash. He's all the way in. Blade from Viper. He wants to turn it with Ray. It's a big ultimate. Viper's found 2. T1 respond with 2 ults of their own. They're back in control of point. We're into overtime. Vessler will get on. He has self-destruct. He's going to try and use it. Whip shot into it. Vessler can't get back into mech. The bomb kills Viper. Is it enough, though? Jwoo needs all the help in the world, but not enough players left for Virtus Pro. And T1... huge turn there. Realised they had to fight. The Ray Blade come out from Vigi and Viper. And they get through. Tied up 1-1. We're going to move on to Fountain. Point C. Shockwave onto the Cass. Vessler onto the Ram here. Donghak has the Downpour. Obviously no Matrix now to eat any of that. So Fixer can block it himself. Everyone else can try and avoid it. Shockwave may be the most vulnerable to it. Doghat comes flying in. Wall at the choke has isolated Jwoo, and Viper will get that kill no problem. Doesn't manage to get the disengage with the rest of his team, and now Vessler is going to get surrounded on point, getting poked from all angles, trying to milk his cooldowns for as long as possible. Form and a backstep. Downpour comes out. Wall behind Vessler, and they only have interest in Vess right now. Now they can push forward, tank advantage, getting these cleanup kills. Tiny little Downpour. And T1 can branch forward. Rally available for Scoot in this next fight. Gala will have the Ray, or should have it in time, to respond. And as long as Gala doesn't cop a bash or get hit really hard, really aggressively, and that Ray is able to start going and people get the healing and the damage boost, the Ray should beat the Rally. All just about Gala getting it off in a meaningful position without going down. They're trying to clear a bit of space. Scoot starts with the Rally. The Bash comes in. Only onto Ramatras. Chance to respond now. Gala drops for Ray coming back in. Walking forward. Shockwave looking for the kills. There's a hazard behind him. Turns on that one. Genji on his face as well. And Donghak and the Viper, they turn that kill. Jwoo trying to clean these players up. He deals with one. Now he comes forward to help Vessler with the backline. Juno in his sights trying to give him the slip. But Juno is so slippery. But Jwoo nails for shurikens. Vessler needs a lot of help on point. He is low. He'll get finished off. Jwoo has full pocket, but he's fighting both DPS. T1 are just playing for their respawn, slowing it down. And Virtus Pro, they don't have the numbers to get themselves back on point. But they're going to have to rush it in a few seconds. Jwoo's going to have to get the touch. He walks onto point now, but he is all alone. He dashes back. Shockwave with the hiding for a bit more space. They leap onto point. Jwoo gets one more touch. He might need to get another one here. He's going to blade onto point to get the touch. He's trying to slice through everything as well, but they're just avoiding it. Pocket is crazy for Jwoo. Laser blade from Viper, though, kills Jwoo. Now the touch is so hard, and Viper crushes them. They kept that going for as long as they can, but it was always a strain for Virtus Pro. They'll get cleaned up on point. T1 take the lead in the series. And now, all of a sudden, the next one is for all the marbles. T1 win this, and they will be the SOOP Cup champions. Virtus Pro will finish in second. They've got the Ray. They've got the Downpour to start with it. We saw that Downpour used last time just to punish for Ramatra. Talks about maybe the Cass having limited options, but Ramatra actually has even less. Fixer has the Rally, Vessler has the Annihilation, but they have to be so worried about this Ray. Rally comes out, Downpour there, Bash comes out, but still locked in. Fixer isn't able to get the shield up in time, and the Rally goes absolutely nowhere. Vigi did use the Ray, so it's a net positive economically for Virtus Pro. But it's far from over yet. Now they have Annihilation to push into the Rally, a much more reasonable ult situation. They're holding close for this Rally as well. You can see Skewed looking for the corner peek. Proud is swinging there as well. Full rail looking for this aggressive one. Vest has the Annihilation as they push in. He pops that one. Now Skewed trying to take a bit of a backstep. And T1, they force this out and they kite. Skewed's a little bit close, but a whip and a bash gets himself out of dodge. Still walking forward, Virtus Pro. And Shockwave is dealing with stuff in spawn. Donghak is so deep behind, and Virtus Pro, they're so stretched with their formation right now. They need to group up. They're trying to get themselves onto point. We're approaching last fight territory. Now or never for Virtus Pro. They're trying to deal with this Brig on the flank. Jaywu goes for it. Spots the opportunity. Deflects out. He's also low. Finds the kill onto Scooter. Second one for Jaywu as well. Dashes into a wall. Viper is still fighting for more. He's used Deflect. Virtus Pro. They had the Ray come up in the end. They did drop that Ray, and that puts them over the edge. So they're more expensive than they want, but they keep themselves in this map. They keep themselves in this series. They keep themselves in the SOOP Cup. But they need to win every fight from here on out, and Proud is coming back with an overclock. Jaywu's going to have the blade very soon. And they get starting position. All eyes on Jaywu. They need to shut down this Sojin. They can't let Proud have opportunities. He has full rail. Vesta's going to throw out the slow. Proud avoids that. Blade in the back now. Brig is going to be the first target. The wall disrupts it, but Jaywu finds the killer anyway. Proud dies while they're trying to deal with that blade. Gala swings with the torpedoes as well. And it's a clean blade for overclock fight. Virtus Pro imported for him there. Now, all of a sudden, they come up to 3 more ultimates in this next fight. Overclock Annihilation Rally. Chance to hold close. Chance to start with Overclock. Make T1 struggle to touch. T1 will have a Ray Blade combo coming back to point. If they can get to point and use that combo, they have a huge chance to win the fight. But can they actually close on that space and find it? No, it's an early rally. They won't get a chance at all. Fixer is all over him. It's only a 1-for-1 trade. Viper goes down, so that Blade trade is not possible. But now onto the back. Donghack's walking on Shockwave. Proud has found 2. No escape for Shockwave. Downpour comes out. Vestler, he's going to be downpoured off for point. Can they touch? No, the flip goes through. Gala's 1 HP. Skirting over. Vestler's found a kill on point, and Gala's gotten out. Has he gotten out? Donghack's pushing for it. He can't hit the shot. The packs are coming through. Donghack can't find the finishing blow. He's going for it again. Gala solo. Another pack from Fixer. Virtus Pro's backline live. Vestler keeps anchoring point. Virtus Pro are not out of it yet. Shockwave has the overclock if they need. T1 are still trying to get another touch onto point. Overclock comes out now. Blade in the sky. Shockwave slides away. Viper's all over him. The boop is good. Shockwave's away. But Donghack gets 2 kills. Gala still pocketing from coast. And it might just not matter. Vestler gets himself back on point. Gala dies before Ray. And the heroics aren't enough. T1 will win. They win the fight. They win the cap. And they win the SOOP Cup. T1 are your champions. 4-0 in the grand finals. Oh, I thought when Gala, the slipperiest man in all of Spain, when he got away from Donghack and Fixer, just every pack. I thought they were going to turn it. Nightmare got 3-0'd, but BB got 4-0'd. Nightmare great MVP, I've seen enough. It's unfortunately flawless logic, and there's no response. Close. Chance to win maps. The Orisa was maybe the real killer. Losing the Circuit Royale. Player of the match. Either Proud or Donghack maybe. Yeah. I thought Scoot was actually really good as well. I mean, obviously they win 4-0, right? But yeah, Donghack, I mean, actually, yeah, like, good on the Orisa, good on the Hazard. If anything, Winston was... Actually, to be fair, he was good on the Winston on... What map was it? Sorry. On Runasapi. Was it Runasapi? Yeah, I think it was. Or maybe that was Hazard. What about was before Runasapi? Yeah, even when he played Winston on Circuit Royale, I actually thought he did a pretty good job of what is like a difficult map to play in that matchup. Do you think there's a case for LAN experience being a big factor? I mean, it's a factor. It's like, it's hard to, you know, it's one thing that is undoubtedly true is for Koreans to have more experience, especially on their setup, etc. And it's, if you're an EMEA or a North American player or team, your LAN experience, you get very few. So some of it might be towards that. I think in reality, T1, as much as they had a very disappointing team, this version of T1 with the backline changes is much better. Donghack and Proud are still players really good enough to play on any team, including Crazy Raccoon and Falcons in that sentence too. So this version of T1 I think is better if you want like the EMEA cope part of it. It's a very strong T1, but so as much as like you lose to the 5th or 6th, I don't think, you know, by the time we come round by the time we come around to stage 2 in Korea, I'd be surprised if we're not seeing T1 finish significantly higher than that. Why didn't he just say it was smashing time? I don't know. In hindsight, he should have just said it's smashing time. Yeah, Hangzhou Major next week. So we'll see Virtus Pro, Nightmare in action again. As well as, obviously, our top 2 teams from China, SSG and Alcancia as well. And, of course, Falcons and Crazy Raccoon. Yeah, confirmation of our results. So, Korea first, EMEA second, Korea third, and NA fourth. We'll be streaming relegation later. What were the times again? Let me remind myself. Was it 7 it starts? 7 BST? It's quite, I think it's actually quite late in the day. Where am I going? EMEA, relegation. Yeah, 7 BST. So that's like 6 hours and 40 minutes for now. First loss of the year for VP. You're right as well, Herman. Yeah. Can you make the cam smaller? I'm frightened. No, you've got to face your fears, Nuclear. We don't know the times for the off-stream matches yet. We do, don't we? Aren't they? They're 7 BST, no? That's when I was planning to stream them anyway. I think Alcancia could beat Falcons. I mean, nothing's impossible, but no is the short answer to that. Did Zeta kick Violet? No, I think the impression I get from the way everything was phrased is that it sounds like Violet left of his own accord. You think Sakura could beat Falcons? Of course. Luckily for Falcons, they don't have to play EMEA promotion relegation, though. You think I could beat Falcons? Thank you, Alex. Oh, really? Interesting. Why do I ever trust Liquipedia? Honestly. I won't start a big rant about it, but absolute shambles esports is in terms of organization. Absolute shambles. Do you think Heartchain could stomp Crazy Raccoons? Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if they'd even be willing to play you. They'd be so scared. No spoilers, what have I missed today? Close maps. Close maps, but nothing crazy. Could Uncoachables beat Crazy Raccoon in a fist fight? There's too many of them. You'll reach out to Moon to see? Alright, better luck's over. Let's get a TF2 game going. No, I've got... Let me turn this guy down. Got a bunch of stuff to sort out now, actually. Some stuff that's fun, some stuff that'll be less fun. But I'll get it all sorted, and then we'll figure it out. When do we get to watch Dilducks on the big stage? Leave it with me. Leave it with me, I'll figure it out. When's the next Uncoachable podcast? No Chinese guests, no. We're going to record it... What day is it? Is it Sunday today? We're going to record it tomorrow. Does Songhack ever smile? No, he's yet to experience... The English word for it is happiness. But one day, he'll reach a level of success and talent that will allow him to experience joy. Does it normally release a day after on Patreon? So, no, it'll probably be Wednesday release on Patreon, Thursday release on YouTube, would be my guess. We're going to try and do it as quickly as possible, because we want to get it out, obviously, before the major, or as far before the major as we can. But We'll see what our producer can cook up. There's a video of him laughing, but he's frowning. I don't know how to explain it. Do you think Shockwave has too much personality before Man International LAN? No, it was a pretty quiet series from Shockwave. Whole team was losing. So you always have to take some of that into account. But yeah, quiet one from Shockwave. And even when the games, like, you think those first couple of maps especially, were like, we were in dogfight territory. Could have gone either way type stuff. I think Proud just had that little bit of magic when his team needed it. Opening picks and a couple of key fights. They're not able to convert it. Biggest worry, I think, if I'm from Virtus Pro's point of view, is, fuck, we can't be losing the Orisa mirror like that. Like, the Orisa mirror should be one where we're in a good position. We're really strong for. So yeah. There's also this weird thing where it feels like they figured out a decent solution to the dive in some situations. You know, playing this D.Va version if they can get an Anaban going. But it's a little bit awkward. You know when you got to play a map which baits the other team into playing Winston so you can play D.Va? It's like, how do you force that? Pro Overwatch rules completely rigged against NA and EU. It's ridiculous how people expect these two regions to be competitive under these uneven and biased rules. NA and EU are limited to two, just two. Korean imports. Wow, Korea is allowed 5. How is that fair? True. Max 2 Koreans in any team. Never had it, Nuclear. Do you think Zen is just dead in the water in pro play? Not dead in the water, but it needs to be very particular maps for it. You kind of need, you know, like Havana, Circuit Royale. You need people to be playing comps that kind of allow it to play. If you're ever playing like an Ana Zen on this type of thing, and the other team starts to swap to like Bull, Tracer, Winston, D.Va, blah, 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 the first thing you're always going to swap is the Zen. So I feel like really hard to make it consistently work. Or if you start on it, you're almost just doing it to force them onto another comp more than anything else. So you don't know what time you're live, right? No idea. I'll figure it out in the break. I need to speak to my co-streamer as well. I'll figure it out. What's on tonight? Promotion relegation, both for EMEA and North America Quarks. So, yeah, I should probably get a move on, and I guess I got a lot of stuff to figure out. But yeah, let me do that then. Appreciate everyone who watched today. I know it was a little bit scuffed. Obviously not the ideal situation for me either, not what I was hoping for. But hopefully everyone's still able to enjoy it and the issues weren't too bad. Obviously next time we do this, we'll maybe have like a bigger solution or a more robust solution. But don't think it was too bad for a 10-minute job. 10-minute job. So be back later today at an undetermined time for promotion relegation. So keep an eye on my Twitter or join the Discord, everything like that, and I'll have all the information. I'm going to upload the VOD from this if for anyone who does want to watch it but really wants to sync it. But yeah, not a lot of great options in terms of it. So I guess if people want to watch the VODs, they could watch this VOD. And with the VODs, it'll be easier to sync SOOP VODs with this. You could do that. But we'll figure that out. But it might mean for anyone who's missed any of the action, the VODs might be up a little bit later on the VODs channel. But on the main YouTube channel, you can catch it straight away. Promotion. The top 2 Fate It Masters teams versus the bottom 2 OWCS teams, both in EMEA and North America. That's what's happening later. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll find you someone else to watch. Where am I going? And I'll see you in a few hours. I'll keep you guys as up to date as I can with what's actually happening. Where are we going? Who's online? Oh, Time's online. Maybe it's time. All right, yeah, it's time. I'll send you guys over to Time, and And I'll see you guys in a bit, all right? Enjoy. And see you later if you want to watch Promotion Relegation, all right? Take care, everyone. Thank you for today. I'll see you when I see you.